Cool. Good to go. G2G. All right.
And we'll bring up in a minute. We are looking for opposition. I guess opposition would be anybody that thinks body count does matter. The prompt doesn't really make it clear, unfortunately. Make sense? All right, let's bring up the first troll. Troll, do your thing. No? Okay. It's going to be 18, 19, 20-year-old. But I couldn't find anything to eat. I desperately needed to go shopping, so unfortunately I just made a stupid... Hello, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing well, thank you. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. I just need to know your age for TikTok terms of service, please.
Yeah, I'm 26.
Okay. And do you think body count matters?
Yeah, to me, yeah.
Okay. Why might that be?
It just shows that, your values don't align with mine in terms of intimate relationships. So
What values are you speaking of specifically?
I'd say someone who slept around a lot, you know,
Okay. But
to
what does that
me,
say? Yeah.
that says that, yeah, they, if they have sex with so many people, then they don't value it the same, they're just giving it away.
Value what the same?
Intimate relationships type thing, intimacy in general.
Well, no, because let's say one can do both. It's not an either or. Those are not mutually exclusive. One can have intimacy with a partner they really care about, and if they're really not in a relationship, they can have like a very casual thing. Those aren't mutually exclusive.
Yeah, I mean, when it's casual, then I'm not a fan of like casual relationships.
You don't have to
For
be
me,
in
it has to
one.
be.
Yeah, you don't have to be in one. But let's say you meet somebody who you really like a lot. I am going to assume here you're straight based on what you're saying.
Yeah.
You meet a woman that you like, or everything about her, but she had a couple casual things in the past. But she also had a lot of serious things in the past, or a couple serious things. What would be the issue?
I mean, I'd say it's feeling wise. It's like a feeling where it's like you're the common denominator. If that person had so many serious relationships and they were still single, then that generally is the common denominator right there. That
Well,
person, there's something
well, let's say
wrong.
she had two. Let's say I don't know. Let's say she had two serious relationships. Both of them were over a year. A couple very casual things in between. Shouldn't you be like lucky in the sense that she now is with somebody that you're now with somebody that she values enough to be with? That should be a good thing, right?
Yeah, if it's two's quite low to be honest. I was thinking more with the old body count,
Well, let's say
like
she had a
20,
couple.
30
Yeah,
something.
okay. So let's say she had two serious relationships, a year plus, and in between she, slept with I don't know, 10 people or something, casual stuff.
Whoa.
What does it matter? First of all, you wouldn't
It
know,
matters.
right? Unless you specifically ask, you're not going to know, and that's assuming she's telling the truth to begin with.
Yeah, of course. But truth always gets out. If you want to start off with a lie, then look, realistically, you can even flip that question on itself because it's like, why do other people care what other people's values are? Can't you just move on and be with
You're
someone
allowed.
who aligns?
I hear what you're saying, but you're allowed to have your own values. What I'm saying is, I don't think there's a
Yeah.
valid reason to care about body counts. I think, generally speaking, when I speak to people who care about it, it seems to stem, and I'm not saying this is you specifically, but it seems to stem from insecurities, yeah, heavy insecurities. It seems to stem from, and comparing themselves to other guys.
Insecurities, you're gonna have to elaborate more on that. Like, what type of insecurities?
Insecurities of thinking that I'm not good enough for this person, whether it's emotionally, whether it's in the bedroom. I'm not good enough to satisfy her. She's going to compare me to other guys, and maybe I'm not good enough, and I want to be the best.
But she's been with like 20 guys,
Who
and
cares?
she's single.
So that should matter. That you should be even more lucky that she's with you, because out of all those 20 guys, she's with you now. That should be a good thing.
No, I mean she got rejected 20 times. That's it.
No, no, no,
That's what I see
rejected.
it.
No. She was
Yeah.
in just like one night stands or just casual hookups. She's with you now. You
What?
like everything
All
about
right.
her. You like everything about her. Why does it matter how many people she's been with before?
Yeah, I mean, this goes back to my whole point of that she doesn't value this intimacy the same as me. But even with the old, I should be lucky that she had like 50 or let's say 20 people she slept with, and I'm sort of like the lucky guy, the last in line. How does that make sense?
It's not last in line. But this is the problem. You're looking at it as this is a competition between you and other men. This is the problem. It's not a competition. Who gives a shit if another guy has a dick that's bigger than you, or he's able to satisfy one? Who gives a shit? Why the fuck does that
Bro,
matter?
bro, honest to God, right? No one, I don't think no
It
one
is.
who
It
has the
is.
same. No,
Listen, I'm
man,
a
come
guy. I
on.
know there's competition between guys, right? Guys feel better when they hook up with someone who's considered to be very good
Flip it,
looking.
bro.
They're guys like to prop them up, or if guys have a higher body count, other guys prop them up and see them as cool. Listen, like I know this. It's not like I haven't been involved in that.
It's because the cool part is like some guys, I personally don't. I'll be honest with you. I think body count for both is bad. Right, high body count. Right,
But
I'm actually consistent in that.
but I don't think you're explaining what it specifically says about somebody as to who they are as a person.
I'd say it's sort of like if you have some of, like logically speaking, if you have some of value, you won't just like give it away sort of willy nilly. You won't just jump into a relationship willy nilly. There should be some sort of filter type thing that you have, like when you look for a person, they should actually have like you should sort of have standards. You know what I mean? Not something. And then the point is, it's like with me when I look at women or whatever, I do have like sort of a higher checklist, if you know what I mean.
Hey guys, if you can keep tapping, get the likes on up, we can get to new guests at 10,000 likes. What was that last part that you said? I'm sorry.
I'd say like a checklist type thing, in a way where it's like if you sleep around with so many people, that means that your sort of filter thing is like, or whatever is like very low. It should be really. That's my view.
What's very low?
Like you sort of like a criteria of like, is this person good type thing. Well, when they want to sleep with someone, what do they think then?
Sometimes people just want to sleep with somebody else because it feels good, right? It
So
feels
yeah,
good to
so
have
it's just
sex.
hedonism then. Yeah, it's just
Yeah, well,
hedonism.
but no, but like two things can coexist, right? Somebody can have a quickie, if you will, or a very casual
Yeah.
hookup, a one night stand with somebody just because they enjoy the feeling, it's consensual, etc. And then they meet somebody else 6 months from now who they love and they care about, and they want to be in a monogamous relationship with them. Those can coexist.
So it's just lust, that one night stand. It
Yeah,
just
sex feels
satisfies
good. I
lust.
don't know if you know this or not, but sex feels good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the whole point with hedonism. I mean, every major religion ever has been about battling oneself, battling base desires. If you can't control those base desires, how are you different than an animal?
Well, it's not a matter of controlling. What if I don't want to control? There's no reason to control
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
That's
hedonism.
the
Yeah.
that's the societal problem. It's pushed upon us that we can't enjoy things that make us feel good, right? That we have to try to control it or whatever. If two people are consensual and it's an action that feels good, go for it.
Well,
What's
I
up,
mean,
Erica?
look, you say pushed upon, but well in the current society that we're in, it's the opposite. All this hedonistic stuff is getting pushed upon us. So you're in the majority camp. Your views, right? My views are in the minority.
Sure, over time things have progressed in that way, but and I think as they should, but that doesn't mean that there's still not a societal expectation or this idea that like we can't experience pleasure, and if we experience pleasure, we should feel guilty for it. That is in society, very much so. Guys, remember 10,000 likes, new guest. You got to tap a little bit more, guys. Hey, Erica, you want to chime in?
Yeah, I just find this idea really interesting that us controlling our desires somehow makes us a better person. We know, for example, that one of the reasons that the priesthood have been so prolific in abusing young people is because it's frowned upon for them to have relationships. So what they do is have relationships with people that will be afraid to tell. Um, and this, I think it would be very difficult to present a religion or who hasn't at this point been engaged in some kind of abuse scandal of young people in order for it not to be told to other people. We know that we the who was it? It was the head of the of that group in America, the Mums for Liberty, who was
Oh,
actually
yeah.
bisexual and kept engaging in this, but she was so desperate for people not to know that she kept it a secret. And my argument would be that being open and honest about what you want and what you desire is far more mentally healthy for you and far better for society.
Say, well, look, you said controlling your own desires is like not seen as a good thing, but that is discipline. And I'm pretty sure you'd think, well, I've got to ask you, do you think discipline is good or bad? Do you view it as a positive characteristic in a person?
Were you asking Erica that or me?
Yeah. I mean, she brought up the point about how you should like just follow what you want as long as it feels good. But
Well,
how is that discipline?
no, I think there's nuance to these things, right? They're like, for example, that wouldn't be applicable if somebody, and I hate to bring up this example, if somebody somehow had an attraction to minors, right? Obviously, that would be bad, right? So there's nuance to this in terms of what your desires do, what's the outcome of the desires, who does it affect, so on and so forth. I don't think we could just definitively say follow your desires or don't follow your desires. It is very much case dependent.
Right, yeah, it's case dependent, yeah. So that's my point. I mean, I view it that obviously controlling your own lust is a good thing. You view it as being bad.
But why though? Like, what's the benefit of doing that?
The benefit of controlling your own lust.
Yeah, well, yeah. In the sense of meeting a partner that has a higher number than you would like, so to speak.
I'd say I'd say honest to God, I think controlling your own lust helps you build up, more discipline in your character as a whole. Because if you can basically go around and be like, all right, I want to do X, Y, Z, and you know what, I'm actually, thinking like a human rather than, acting like an animal where, they just follow whatever they want to do in that moment. I think it shows good character.
Hang on, you're making the assumption though when saying humans are acting like when saying humans are acting like animals, that humans are somehow doing this thing where they're just doing it with everybody they see. And the fact is, in Doug's scenario, where somebody slept with 10 or 20 people, they could have been made offers by thousands of people. It's not, sorry, the reason I didn't answer the question is because I didn't hear it, because I saw my mum's neighbour and she was talking to me about my mum. So I didn't hear the question. But if you want to repeat, I'm just about to pick up a dog poo. So, I'm multitasking right now.
Yeah, if you want to repeat, sorry. Guys, we're at 10,000 likes, new guys. Make sure you guys tap and share, send in your heart me, follow me if you're joining live. Go ahead, Lily. I think you asked why should we control our desires, or it's a good thing to control our desires, right? Same?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. But I think it's case dependent, and I would imagine Erica would agree with that. It's just, I don't think we can just definitively say one or the other.
Yeah,
if you can see that it's like subjective.
If you have the other person's consent and you both desire the same thing, why shouldn't you do it?
I'd say you're on about like an objective reason then, or my own personal view. Because at the end of the day, this is all subjective, isn't it?
I think morals are subjective, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thank you, man. So, end of the day, I mean, morals are subjective, therefore anyone can really believe in anything, to a certain point.
Sure. I'm not denying that. I'm just thinking, I'm just asking, I just don't think there's a valid reason for it. Again, and I already say this, it seems like every time I speak to somebody who really wants another partner, generally a woman with a low body count, it seems to stem from insecurities. It seems to stem from like wanting to control them and things like that. I've never gotten like a satisfactory response as to why a low body count's okay or why we should have one.
But what's the control aspect of it? That's the part. All right, insecurities. Yeah, if a guy's insecure, he could be insecure. That's just an excuse then, isn't it? He's not happy with himself and he's just using that high body count as sort of like an excuse. But the control part, what does that, in your experience, what do guys say about that?
Well, they want to be the only one that has any influence.
Right.
over a woman. And so if they meet somebody, a lot of the time when we talk to men about this, no matter how old they are, they all want to meet someone who's a very similar age and has no experience of relationships or smex. And the only reason I can think of that they would want that is so that the person is naive and so they can control them.
Yeah. Guys, 10,000 likes, new guests. We have 4 people in the box. So if you guys want a new one, tap quicker. We have enough people to get to 10,000 likes real quickly. Go ahead, Zin.
Yeah, you can say that with age, though, rather than just pure body count. It could be someone who's like 27, 28, who's never been with someone or been with like 1 or 2 people, let's say, for argument's sake.
I don't understand what you're saying.
So I'm on about body count, but you said it was like young and naive. But, you know, I don't see it as, you know, you being younger equals having like a low body count or something. There are older women who, you know, have like a low body count. So where's the control aspect in that? If they're mature.
Okay, so if you met a 45-year-old woman who was a virgin, what would you think about her being 45 and being a virgin?
I think she's probably like asexual then, to be honest.
But why would you think that?
Because she's 45 and hasn't like got married or something, or.
But why should she have to get married? See,
What do you mean,
you're making assumptions about you're literally making assumptions about people who have gone, right, I'm going to stick to this rule of not sleeping with anybody, and then they just don't happen to meet anyone who
45?
Who fits their
There was
criteria.
a movie about it though with Steve Carell, 40-year-old virgin.
Right. And people made assumptions about him because he was 40 and he was a virgin, didn't they?
Yeah, it was a comedy.
No, I understand, but that is true of people in real life. And what you're saying is I'm going to make the assumption that because this person stuck by all the rules that I want them to stick to, and they didn't happen to meet somebody who either everyone that they liked didn't like them, or everyone that liked them, there was something about them that they didn't like. You're now making the assumption that that person, because they didn't meet anybody and because they haven't slept with anybody, is asexual. That's so weird.
Is that your argument? I think it's weird, therefore it's
No,
wrong.
my argument is that person literally did what you wanted them to do, which is they didn't sleep with anyone because they weren't in a serious relationship with them or they weren't married to them. And because they didn't happen to meet anybody, you're now making the assumption that they're asexual.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Why obviously?
Because if you're 45 years old and you haven't met someone who, not even like one person who, you know, either your standards are insanely high where it's just basically non-existent.
But hang on, you were the one that was saying that everyone has insanely low standards. So which one is it? Are people's standards too high or are they too low?
Yeah, I mean, I did say in relation to body count. That was my point.
But no, you also said you have a checklist.
Yeah, me personally, yeah.
Yeah, what if you never meet anybody that ticks every box?
Impossible. I'm already married. So.
All right.
Maybe your standards are really low. I don't know.
Not really. I mean, you don't even know me, so all right. You think assuming's bad, and you're just assuming that, even though I told you I'm married. Nice, man.
Sorry, I wasn't the one that started making the assumptions. That was you.
Oh, so assumptions are bad unless you make them. Isn't that just hypocrisy?
No, I'm just following your lead, sir.
Oh no, but this was your point. You said assumptions are bad, but you make an assumption. You know, I never said they're bad.
Well, I've talked to you. You've never talked to the 45-year-old woman. You're making an assumption based on like 2 pieces of information.
Yeah. Why do you think 45 and not 85?
I'm making an assumption based on the things that you're actually saying.
All right. Okay.
Keep tapping and sharing, guys. We'll get to some other people in the request box. Just hang tight. Hang tight.
Yeah, I'll probably gonna have to dip anyway, but I don't get the point what Eric is saying unless you know. Don't know.
All right, we'll just get to a new guest, anyways. Guys, we got to tap. You guys tap much quicker on the other lives. I don't know. For some reason, I guess tapping is harder on this, on this topic. I don't know why. Cook Tuck, what's up?
What's up?
Hey,
Yeah, I just wanted to.
I just need to know your age first. How old are you?
29.
All right, cool. And you think body count matters?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, cool. Why is that?
Well, for one, just to be honest, I think it's unrealistic to say zero unless you're talking about like someone who's like 18, they're just getting out into the world. Otherwise, I know I'm saying it's not going to be zero most of the time. However, I think like what the last guest was saying, I think it is a little bit more virtuous to have a lower body count just based on like the idea of discipline. I think without discipline, we don't have any order. We don't really have a society. Um, when you just justify everything someone does as, hey, it's their subjective opinion, then you kind of open the door for everyone to do anything they want. I think we have to draw a line somewhere. Like realistically, if you don't have any discipline, then you're kind of just game for whatever. People don't actually live their lives in that way. You know what I mean?
So, are you trying to say certain things, or like, are you just trying to say like morals are objective? Is that sort of what
No,
you're trying to
morals
say?
are subjective. However, objectively, we form all of our social constructs and subjective opinions on an observation of the objective world. We objectively are biologically not geared towards, unaliving ourselves, right? So we want to make sure we are living in a safe world.
Sure.
Therefore, we subjectively place laws and restrictions on people so we don't walk out of our house and get unalived randomly. We want to live in a protected society, right?
Sure. So back to the top. So relate that back to the topic then. So how does that relate to body
Yeah,
count and
so
things like that?
so to relate that to the topic, when we're saying like, okay, body count, we have an issue with STIs being spread. We have
Okay.
issues with unwanted pregnancies and single mothers. We have
Okay.
an issue with self-confidence and mental health, and all
Okay.
those things relate back to the idea of having casual like sex. Like for example, in the porn industry, they say how empowered they feel, but when you
Careful with the words
actually,
on TikTok. Careful with your words. Just say corn. I know it's stupid.
sorry about
Just
that.
no. You're okay. You're okay. So
Do you want to
let me
go?
before you say too much, let me interrupt. Listen, I
Uh,
think there are things we can do to minimize that, and like for example, right? I think we should have sex ed throughout the whole country, right? There's a lot of states that don't have comprehensive sex ed. Sex ed, we see
right.
objectively lowers the rates of unwanted pregnancy, lowers rates of STIs. Those are things we absolutely should have, right? However, though, when it comes to sleeping around and things like that, I think people should be given the choice to do that. Should it be better if they do it safely? Of course, yeah, right. Wear
You have the
protection,
choice. Yeah.
all those things. But I don't think there should be shame upon these people from others because they're doing something that's consensual and doing something in a safe manner.
Well, like I said, I think the issue is just kind of like, the old expression, you'd rather be a key that unlocks many locks rather than a lock that's unlocked by any key.
Okay, but
And
that
so
saying
when
is
people look at that and they
overused.
go like, well, what would go along with the mindset of someone who just gives their body to anybody?
Okay.
No,
Okay,
like I
but
said,
but that saying is
with the porn
overused. Cook,
industry,
hold on. And that saying is overused. Human beings are not keys and locks. We are
uh,
human
uh,
beings.
it doesn't need to be exactly right. You don't have to compare a duck to a duck to make a observation about birds, right?
No.
So what I'm
But
saying
if
is,
you're saying that it's bad for a woman, so this is what you're saying.
it's bad
You're
for
saying
man too, to a
okay,
degree, to a certain degree.
to a degree, but it sounds like you're putting it more
Yeah.
upon a woman. If you're saying it's bad for women to have sex
Mm.
more often, why?
Yeah, so the reason is because, like, women have a lot of downsides to pregnancy. They don't get to just kind
Her
of walk
choice.
away a lot of the times
Yeah,
for
her
various
choice.
different reasons.
But
For
her
various
choice
different
doing.
reasons.
I
Most of
know,
the
but it's
times it's
her.
not a choice.
But you're talking about grape at that point.
I'm talking about what? No, no, no. I'm saying like no. I'm not talking about non-consensual sex. I'm saying after that, okay, they go and have this baby. They're tied to it. The father can be tied to it, but you got to like get a lot of information, put them
You're
on
far
child
down the road
support.
here. You're far. We're
They
not
can
even
they
talking
can
about.
kind
We're
of
not talking about
leave.
having kids. We're not talking about having kids.
Well,
All
that's
right.
a consequence of sex was inherently
It,
tied to the argument.
I wouldn't say it's a consequence. If you're saying it's a consequence, you're insinuating it's a negative thing. It can be a result, but consequence. I don't like the context behind that. I don't like the yeah. I don't think that's the best context to use or whatever.
But
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 go
I
ahead.
want to
There you go.
point. I just want to point out. Generally speaking, women are very selective about the people that they sleep with. I cannot say the same thing for men being selective about who they sleep with. So the idea that women are just sleeping with anybody that approaches them, whereas it's men that are being the selective ones. I don't know if you've ever seen a man
Well, that's not the argument I'm
using.
making.
I'm sorry, I'm still talking. Thanks. I don't know if you've ever. I've sat with my male friends when they use dating apps, and they swipe right on everybody, no matter what they look like. They don't read the bios. They're just looking. It's a numbers game for them. Whereas
Yeah.
every woman I know sits and they look at the bio, and if the bio doesn't say anything, they swipe left. They sit
Well, it's not
there,
really the
they look
argument
at
there.
they
No, it
no, but
is.
it is the argument, because what you're saying is if they just sleep with anyone, and that's the phrase you used. Nobody is just sleeping with anyone. Nobody is
So
doing that.
I definitely like to respond to that, and the way I respond to that is saying, for one, we got to make sure we understand what we're talking about here. The claim isn't whether one sex is selective or the other one is more selective or whatever. The claim is the idea that anyone who just gives their body to anybody else is not necessarily virtuous, not a good thing. I'm not making a claim on who's selective.
What?
And
Who decides
also,
what? Who
hold
decides
on,
what virtue?
hold
No, no, no,
on. I'm just
no.
gonna just gonna
Let's just
finish
take that
responding to what you're
point.
saying.
Let's
Well,
just
I'm just
take
going to
that
finish
point.
responding to what you're saying. No, wait
Who
a minute. I
decides?
want to
Who
categorize it.
decides? Who
Hold on.
decides
I want to
what?
make sure we
Who
have concrete
decides?
ground.
Who decides what virtue? What is
I
virtuous?
want to make sure we have concrete ground to stand on. So to finish responding to what you're saying, yeah, there's a lot of skill involved in a man going out to get multiple females, whereas, like you said, men are not as selective. They go out and find women because they're not really able to just grab women like that.
So there's no skill involved.
Women are
So there's
able
no
to
skill
attract
involved.
multiple men at a time,
So
and they
there's no
get to
skill
be
involved.
selective.
So you've just told us there's no skill involved.
Not with
You've
women,
just
not with women getting men. No,
no. You just said with men there's
no. I said there
skill
is
in.
skill involved. Yeah.
No, you didn't. You said
No,
men are
there is
not
skill involved
selective,
with
but
men.
there's skill involved. How
You're
is
not
there skill
listening.
involved? No, be quiet. How is there skill involved if you're
You got to
not
listen
being
closely.
selective?
Yeah,
How is there
women.
skill involved if you're not
Yeah,
being selective?
men feel like, okay, so I'll tell you. So the skill is that no matter if we choose the woman still has to choose us. We have to be charming. We have to, give her an incentive. No woman really, in general, if you're attractive, moderately attractive even, has to necessarily be charming to a man because they get to select. There's so many men being non-selective that she gets to
Okay,
choose from whoever she wants.
But this
cool.
stems from the
Not the same
jealousy.
way.
Sorry, Erica, keep going through things.
It's not jealousy.
Well, no,
Got
I
I
nothing
just
to do
mean,
with
want to.
that.
I just have a question. How long has that woman spent selecting the outfit she's going to wear? How long has she spent learning how to do her makeup?
What is your relevance to
I'm
that?
still. Why is it that when I talk, you constantly interrupt me, but if I interrupt you, you cry like a baby? It's wild. But anyway, my question is, you say there's no skill involved. How long does it take that woman to pick an outfit that flatters her figure, maybe makes her boobs look bigger and her
Men have
waist?
to do the same thing.
I'm still talking. How long does it take her to learn how to wash and style her long hair? How long does it take her to learn how to do makeup, to learn how to put on eyelashes, to learn how to use things that you probably don't even know the name of and could never fathom using? How much does she have to spend on a different outfit every time?
So you're just justifying her selection. That's fine.
guys,
What's the
20,000 likes.
relevance?
20,000 likes, you guys.
The guy can pick the same pair of pants he wore last time and just wear a different shirt with it. The girl has to
I don't
go out
understand
and
what's
buy
the
a...
point of this.
No, what's the point in anything that you've said?
Well, I can tell you what the point is. I'm asking you to tell me. You're not going to allow me to tell you the point in what
Well,
I
you
said.
said there's no skill involved. I would
Yeah,
argue.
there's no skill involved in a woman.
I would argue that picking an outfit that flatters your figure, learning how to wash and style long hair, knowing how to put makeup on, knowing how to hold a conversation, knowing how to be attractive and alluring, all of those things are skills for women just as much as they are for men. And just because that woman is artful enough that you don't see the amount of skill that she has put into it, shows that she's actually more skillful than you are.
I don't even know if
Gotcha.
skillful is
So,
the right. I don't even know if skillful is the right word though. Like I don't. I think there's
well, can
probably
I
a
just
better
respond
word
to
to.
Erica real
Yeah,
quick?
you can. That's fine.
Yeah, sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm sorry to interrupt you as well, Erica. I
Good.
fail to see the relevance of what you're saying sometimes. I want you to clarify, but what I'm saying is I don't think that's really anything different than what a man does. Man grooms himself and dresses too, but at the same time, I'm saying there's no. You can be naturally attractive, no makeup on, don't put on flattering clothes, and have a sort of moderate attitude, and most men are still going to try you up.
Well,
Most men cannot say
again,
the
you're
same
telling me
thing.
that men are not being, again,
Hold
you're
on,
telling
hold
me,
on. Let me
you're
just
telling,
put
no,
my
no,
point
no,
out there. So if
no,
you
because you
disagree, you
keep
can
doing
keep
this to
on.
me, so I'm going to do it to you.
Not
You keep
really.
telling us, you're just once again telling us that men are not being selective and
Mhm.
with who they're sleeping with, and women are
I never
being
made that.
selective
I never
with
made
who
that
they're sleeping
judgment
with.
though. I never said women are less or more selective, and that doesn't really matter. And so
They're
what I'm
more
talking
selective.
about, that's fine, but that doesn't matter. That's not even what I'm addressing. What I'm addressing is that men and women, both alike, shouldn't go out there and just decide to have arbitrary relations with people, just for the heck of it. Because what that does is that simply says you don't have any discipline. It says that it signals some sort of like issues in your background. Like for example, I keep trying to use the corn industry because it is profitable from that action, right? Of intercourse. They say how empowered they are, but then you look at interviews later on in their career and they go like, I came from a broken home, I have self-esteem issues. And then now you see what type of person would get into that industry. Like no matter
So
what they tell you on the surface, they
like
always have
all
some
of
sort of broken story.
cool, like all of the red pill men, like the Andrew Tates of the world, and all of the red pill guys who all came from broken homes where their fathers didn't want to identify with them. So cool. Now we're
Yeah,
saying
for
that
sure. There's a male equivalent.
all those red pill guys that probably you're listening to and watching their podcast,
No, not
they
really.
they come from the exact same backgrounds. It's just that they have completely they are exerting their power in a different way. And if
Well,
your
I'm
idea
sure they have
is,
bad
I'm
things
sorry,
going
still
too.
talking, if your idea is that every single woman, first of all, we're not talking about people in the corn industry, we're talking about everyday human beings. And your idea that every single person in the corn industry regrets doing corn when
They largely do.
they should prove it.
Well,
I,
you can
I,
just look at their own testimony.
but that's anecdotal. You're going to be pointing to ones that do. I'm sure
How
some
many
do regret it.
anecdotes make a statistic?
All of them.
And enough
No,
anecdotes make a statistic, right?
yeah, all of them.
Right.
So,
So there's
but
no
if
point
you're,
in pointing out.
I know, but you're never going to hear from the ones that don't regret it. The ones that do regret
Yes, you
it
will.
get more spotlight. But then we're going to just argue back and forth, right? So it would be good if we had data to show who regrets it versus not. And I doubt that data
The
even
only data,
exists.
I mean, the only data you need is their own testimony and their own actions.
Okay,
Like if you
okay.
study
So,
psychology a
oh my
little
god,
bit,
oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. For every one that you say regrets it, I can find one that says they don't regret it. So where
and
do
then
we
they'll say
stop?
they regret it later. They say they don't
Okay,
regret it
okay.
today, and then they regret it tomorrow.
So you created a scenario in which you can never lose.
No, I'm just being realistic. That's what happens. They always say that at first, and then they go back and change it. So the reason why I brought that up is
Okay,
because
but you can't prove
that's
that.
the extreme.
I want to make it very clear that you cannot prove that. That's just your opinion.
Yes, I can because
You
the
cannot.
claim I'm making is based on their own testimony.
I'm sorry, you cannot prove it. You have.
I've now seen a pattern of that happening.
It's a
So now I'm
pattern that you
predict.
want to see. That's the problem
No,
with
it's not a
pattern
pattern that I
recognition.
want to see.
That's the problem with pattern recognition. You have this idea in your head of things you want to see, therefore you look for those things and you
No,
disregard
that's called a
everything.
bias, right? That's a
Right. But
cognitive
that's part of
bias.
pattern
That's not what's
recognition.
happening.
People say, "Oh, pattern recognition." Yes, that would be a confirmation bias right there. You are only looking for things you want to look for
How do you know that I'm only looking for that?
because that's what we do. That's what we as humans do.
That's not necessarily what we do.
Everybody does it. That's why we should point to data to get rid of our bias. That's why we
I
have data.
I certainly
I acknowledge I have bias. So why would I use my
Everyone
bias in this
has
scenario?
some bias. However, I think that when I'm looking at something like this, I tend to approach things a little bit more scientifically. So I don't tend to look at, my preference versus what's happening. I look at what's happening
So
objectively and then I see a
so show
pattern
us
or I don't.
show us the scientific data that backs up what you're saying. If you look at things scientifically, there must be a study that you've read.
Well, to do something scientifically, you simply need to enact the scientific method. I don't necessarily need a study. I'm not saying there's no studies that exist. What I'm saying is I don't need you to tell me something that I can observe myself. Like I can do my own research and
Okay.
see.
Do you see how this works? I observe the other way. I see ones that don't regret it, ones that retired and say they really were happy with what they did. Who's right in this
I
scenario?
got you. I got you. So let's break
Who's
it
correct?
down.
Who's correct in this
Yeah, I
scenario?
got you. I got you. Let's break it down. So you have someone who is in an industry, right, that is essentially a man or a group of men who control women's bodies and objectify them for profit, which is the same thing as a pimp on the street doing that, except now it's in the industry and it's protected because it's filmed and it's technically a movie. All we did is go through a legal loophole. Now you look at who would do that. What type of person does that? Do you think a person who actually cares about themselves would subject themselves to such ridicule online? More often than not, that's not the case. When people who are outside that industry do the same thing, like people who get viral for jumping off of, some high building or some stupid thing, you actually look at it and they always talk about how they wanted to be in the spotlight, have attention, stuff like that.
What's
Now,
your
you relate
point?
that same thing to people in the industry who say stuff like that. You kind of see a pattern. People who seek attention feel like they don't necessarily get seen. They feel like they've been left out throughout their life. And so you don't even have to talk about corn. You can talk about people in general on the internet who seek
Okay.
attention.
So I have a question, Quick Talk. What was your methodology for your study that you did, and what was your sample size, and was it representative?
Yeah, so essentially my method was, like I said, I observed like general psychology of people, how people behave. Like I said, I observed that when people
Sorry, and
tend
what
to,
level of
you,
education do you have in
you gotta let me,
psychology?
you gotta let me finish.
What
You
level
can't
of
keep changing the
education?
goalposts.
What level of education do you have in psychology?
Can you please allow me to finish? And then I can answer. You can't keep asking me a question on top of a question. You're
Okay.
distracting from the point.
Oh my god.
So what I'm saying is you ask me my methodology. I look at the people who often seek attention. I look at, psychologists like Sigmund Freud and people like that in those fields who
Sigmund Freud's
say
considered a joke now. He's considered a joke in the psychology field.
that doesn't
He's
mean
laughed
everything
at.
he said is necessarily invalid because people still build upon what he said. I mean, the first person to come up with the idea of cells didn't have a great idea of what cells are, but we built upon it. So when you look at stuff like that, you go like, okay, well, a person who has the idea of like, I need to seek attention, they tend to be people who describe themselves as
All right.
unseen or
We hit
left out.
20K. We hit 20K. Goodbye. Everything was just his fucking goddamn opinion. Everything. Every goddamn thing was his opinion. Sorry, guys. We have a elected kickle. I know that extended a little bit longer than we would have liked, but gotta respect the elected kickle. What was that, Erica?
Well, when you say I use the scientific method and then your methodology is just, well, I watched some stuff and people said some things.
That's all it was. That's all it was.
That's not a methodology.
Yeah, like snipper. All right. We had two. Now we possibly have one that's loading. Numero. All right, we went from 2-0, guys. Okay, let's try to get to another one here. I think the rest in here are ops, or no, not ops, friendlies. Please, guys, if you are in opposition, hit the request button. We're good on friendlies for the time being. Although I'm happy to bring one up, maybe shortly. If you guys can keep tapping and sharing, I'd like to get this live out on TED-FYP if possible, because I'd love to have more people, and I do like this topic. Hello, guest. How are you?
Sorry, I am a friendly. I don't know if you want one.
Oh, no, I am only looking for opposition. Let me bring you down. But take care. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Yeah, Hannah, I thought you were friendly as well, it looks like. So.
I was going to say, with a name like Numerous D, in this conversation, you got to be a friendly.
And by the way, I think there is a conversation to have, a good conversation to have in regards to the corn industry as to the effects of the good, bad, and different whatever. I do think there's probably a conversation to be had there, but that is a different conversation than what we're talking about over here.
Well, also, I think it's important to remember that, most often, certainly traditionally in the corn industry, everybody, male actors and female actors, were both paid for their work.
Yeah.
Like, it's not the same as working on the street, for example, because in that case it's one person paying for the other person. Both people are paid in the corn industry, not just one of them. I think that is changing now, with people kind of having these 100 men in an hour or whatever, or but But I think traditionally, all of the actors would be paid. So
Yeah. Somebody doing the stupid lock and key analogy. You guys got to stop with that analogy, like for real. It's a stupid analogy for one. It's just not applicable. It's not. You can say it all you want because you like the little phrase, but I'm sorry, it doesn't work. Or your little car analogy. I'd rather have a new car as opposed to one with 1,000 miles. In both cases, you're comparing them to objects. That's all you're doing.
But
It's not
the
applicable.
thing
It's not applicable because human beings are not locks and keys. That's why it's not applicable. If you're insinuating that it's bad for a woman to have sex often, tell us why without you mentioning fucking locks and keys. That's why.
Well, and the point is also, I would also prefer a new car over a used one.
Sure.
However, in terms of partners, I'd prefer one who knows how to start the ignition. Like,
That's funny. Yeah. This idea that the more sex a woman has, the more used she is and the more worn out she is just not true. Like this is the thinking that you guys have, but you don't use it for men for some reason. For some reason, when men have sex super often, that's not them being used or worn out, right? That's a good thing, right? That's why I have that thing in the background there. That's how we view it as a society. Men are praised when they have sex often.
by the way,
Seen as a good thing.
having a key that opens many locks implies in many ways that you are opening locks with that key that the person who owns the lock doesn't want you to open. If you're saying my key will open places that I shouldn't even go, that's a creepy analogy.
That's actually a very good point. Yes. Yeah, kid, exactly. There's no inherent difference between a husband and wife, husband whatever the case is, having sex 4 days a week versus two individuals who are not having sex 4 days a week, even with different people. There's really no inherent difference, right? Yes, sure, the chances of STI can be different. That's, again, safe sex is important. We're not discounting that.
Speaking of locks and keys, I got to work this morning and nothing was open because the key to the door that has to the room that has all the keys in it broke in the lock, and they couldn't get in to get all the keys for the rest of the. I've never heard of the lock breaking. It's always the key.
Typically speaking, yeah. Too afraid to bring you up. You never requested. Dear, how you doing?
What's going on?
Hey, man, I just need to know your age for TikTok terms of service. How old are you?
22.
All right. Okay. What's going on? You think body count matters?
Yeah.
You're 22?
No, that's not me.
Okay. Okay, so why do you think body count matters equally for men and women, or does any individual for that matter?
I'd say it's equal. I kind of do see the argument when it comes to it's more valuable when a woman has a lower body count. But I personally think it's equal.
Okay, so why does it matter inherently? And I think Erica needs to drop. So Corey, I think I see you in there. You want her to come up. If you want to come on up here as well, you can, Corey, if you're still here. All right, so why does it matter though? What does it say about somebody if they have a body count that you would consider too high?
Yeah, I think there's nothing wrong with people to want a partner with a lower body count. It shows your values. It shows what you do on your pastime. I'd say if you're in my age and you have a body count that's like crazy, like 30, 40, obviously you like to go out, you like to do things, and it's like, that shows the way you live life. And if you're looking for a partner that is not that, well, that's a pretty good indicator of who that person is.
But that's not really about body count then. That's just you having different interests, different outlooks on life, things like that. But
yeah, exactly.
But that's not body count then.
No, but body count is a good indicator of what that person likes to do on their pastime, 100%.
But when you get to know somebody, you get to know them as who they are as a person. So shouldn't you base who they are as a person off of well, who they are as a person.
Yeah,
That's I know that sounds redundant and repetitive, but the best way to get to know somebody is to get to know somebody, not to find
no,
some
one
random
hundred
number.
percent,
Yeah.
100%. But hypothetically speaking, let's say there's two women, okay, and they're both 22 years old, and one of them has a body count of 1, and the other one has a body count of 20.
Okay.
You can really, like, honestly, you can see without knowing any of them. Okay, you can really see what they like to do, what their values are, most importantly, what they value within themselves. Okay, that 100% goes along with it. So yes, you can get to know them, but do they go along with your way of life? Probably not. Maybe so, if that's what you're into. But personally, me, no.
Okay. The problem, and guys, we can get to new guests at 40,000 likes at 40, and make sure you guys send in a heart. Follow me if you're joining live, subscribe on YouTube. So, but the problem is, number one, you're never. I don't run into people that typically ask somebody straight up what their body count is. Do you do that? When you ask somebody
No.
straight up what their body? Okay, so
No.
then it's not really a relevant factor because you're not going to know it.
But okay, the circles that you're in, like if you're at a club and you see a woman, she's all over guys, you don't need to ask questions. You know what her character is. If you're at a Bible study club and you see a girl, you don't really have to ask questions right away. You
Oh, she could be
know
into very
somewhat.
freaky stuff. Oh, she could be
Right,
into very freaky stuff.
absolutely, and you get to learn that as you get to know the person, like you said. But in the circles that you're in, okay, you're kind of around the same people with the same mindset. Okay, that's also very important. That in the dating world, body count is very crucial to meet your partner, to meet someone with the same set of values as you.
Okay.
It's straight up.
But
like
again,
that.
if you're not going to know what their body count is, it's sort of irrelevant. Corey, go ahead. This is what you tried to speak in.
Oh no! I was just gonna bring up the Bible study thing because I'll be honest with you, I do not share the value for butt stuff, and that is what Bible study girl is into. I'm just 9 out of 10 times, folks.
So, anyways, but it's logistically, I guess logistically is the right word. You're just not going to know what their body count is.
Right.
So I just don't see how it's relevant in the conversation of getting to know somebody. Like typically for me in the past, right? If I wanted to find somebody or whatever the case is, I'd be on dating apps, right? And I don't know their circles. I don't know anything about them. I don't know their friends. The best way for me to get to know them is just go on a date, get to know them. I don't have friends that know this person or whatever. It's just get to know them.
I agree.
That's the
And
best way.
when you're on a date with this person, do you maybe ask questions to get to know like their character?
Sure, that's what you do on first date.
So
First
that's
sure.
why people ask for body counts, because it really tells you what that person's character is and moral values are. And a lot of people dislike a woman or man that has been around, and that's completely normal. You want your partner to, kind of be secluded from that.
But I disagree that it says something about who they are. I disagree. And you already said that you're not going to ask. When would you ask? When would that question appear?
It doesn't matter. I don't think it matters.
Well, it does matter. If it's so important to you, shouldn't that be the first thing you ask them? If it's that important?
If you want to. Yeah,
but it sounds like
it doesn't matter.
Wait, your whole argument is that it does matter. No, it doesn't.
It does matter, but it doesn't. I'm saying in a conversational sense, it doesn't matter as much to ask it right away. Like that's the first question I'm going to ask you. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it does matter, like in the sense that that person's body count. Of course, it matters. I mean, why would you want to know your wife's body count? That I think
because their past
I would
has
like to know.
Because their past has nothing to do with me. I didn't know. I wouldn't know my partner in the past. I know my partner in the present. That's it.
So let's say you were married to your wife for 20 years, and all of a sudden she goes like, "Oh, back in the day, I know it doesn't matter now, but I slept with 100 dudes in 1 year." Like that doesn't matter to you whatsoever. Like maybe she was going through something. Like there's no background information about this.
What would fundamentally change? What would fundamentally change at that point?
But you don't think that 100 in a year, that's a lot of people, sir.
Okay. My insecurities would dislike it. Okay. So let's say I'm actually in that situation. instinctively, I would have some insecurities about that. I would.
Okay.
But I also, but I also know, logically speaking, that it doesn't matter, and it's just my insecurities showing itself initially, right? But then I would run through it and think, well, does it really matter? I've been married for 20 years. I didn't know her at that point. I've loved her up
Absolutely.
until this point. It doesn't matter. So my insecurities aren't always indicative of reality. Does that make sense?
But absolutely. But now I completely agree with you. At that moment, you already know your wife. You know that she probably changed her character, her values, etc., whatever. It doesn't matter. But let's say you knew that information before you started dating her with these insecurities. You don't know her. Okay. Now, what do you do? Because you don't really know this person that much to be like, okay, I'm gonna stick it out with this person. But you know she slept with 100 people in 1 year. That's what I'm trying to say. It tells you a lot about their character.
Well, it
their
doesn't though, because
values.
it doesn't because you've already acknowledged in a situation when you're married to somebody in 20 years for 20 years that it didn't change
Yeah,
anything.
they can change. 100% they can
But
change.
but
And
in
that's
that
why you
scenario,
didn't
I was
know.
married. But in that scenario, I was married to that person.
Yeah,
for
and
20
you didn't
years.
know because they changed. But if 20
So
years
there you
late,
go.
20 years before in another dimension, you have no idea. Okay,
Did you
she
say
tells
another
you,
dimension?
yeah, in another dimension, bro. She goes, hey, she tells
Another
you straight
universe, you
up,
mean?
like, look, I slept with 100 dudes. You're not gonna date that woman. I'm not gonna date that woman.
Wait, hold
In
on.
a
So
year, that's insane. Who's gonna
Wait, so
date
I'm gonna
that
use my
woman?
own anecdote real quick. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I am somebody who has dated several people who have worked in the industry,
Oh,
and
oh
I
God.
have no issue with it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, but like they're very kind people for the most part. At least the people I date, because I date people because, you know, they're decent human beings. And the fact that they've had relations with other people does not matter and doesn't mean anything in who they are as a person in reality. So I'm sorry, but you're currently putting moral value onto people based off of how many people they've slept with, and unfortunately it just doesn't carry over. I mean, incels literally are called involuntarily celibate, and they're some of the worst human beings on the face of the earth. So
You know, I don't. Go ahead. I don't want to cut you off. Go.
that's basically it. It's just like, I'm sorry, but like, as somebody who's dated people in the industry, like, that's just wrong. But anyways, yeah, sorry.
There are people. I didn't look at the YouTube comments before he mentioned that scenario with being married to 20 years. There are a couple people in the YouTube comments that said that they would leave that person after 20 years of being married, finding out that they.
But that's completely normal too, because
that's fucking insane. I'm sorry,
But
like, your
you
insecurities
need
are
to
absolutely
understand.
insane if you would leave them because of that.
You need to understand, because to that, having 100 bodies is literally having 100 different connections within 1 year. That tells you more than just intercourse. That is literally the actions between, like, you know, where you're going, what you're doing, where is this even being occurred? Like, all this stuff is like,
why does it matter? Why
it's
does it matter?
degrading. It shows your character.
These are your
for
insecurities.
where-
These are your insecurities coming up.
No,
Yes.
it's
Go ahead.
not, dude. It's
Okay.
not,
Okay.
and you need to understand.
Go ahead,
Dear,
Corey.
I have a problem with this because you're speaking in a lot of generalities, but you're not saying anything specific, right? You're saying this apparently tells you these things about your partner. What does this tell you about your partner in any way, shape, or form?
Well,
other than that they've been with 100 people.
No, in 20 years past time, I kind of agree with the host. It's like, you know, it's in the past at that point. You know your partner, and she's changed, right? And it's like I would be mad because she lied to me.
Wait, hold on. First of all, she never lied to you, but that's not the thing, right? You're saying the 100 bodies apparently said something about her character, her values, stuff like that. Yeah. What does it say specifically? Because you keep speaking in generalities, and I'm trying to
herself.
What body count? How?
By telling you the circles that she surrounds herself in.
Wait, but that's not a circle. Like, if she has relations with people, right? That's
well,
not
how is she getting into this?
What does that say about her circle?
Guys, keep tapping the screen. 40,000 likes, new guest.
Do you think everyone likes to go to the club 24/7?
I'm sorry. That's not the question. What does it say about her circle?
I'm telling you. I'm telling you exactly what it says.
Then don't ask a question. Answer it.
Party life. Degeneracy, meaning drinking, smoking, any of that stuff. That's what it shows.
No, it doesn't, because
That's
I know
what it
plenty of
shows.
people. I know plenty of people that drink and smoke often and have very low body counts. I know people
Sure,
that have
sure.
higher body
They're
counts that don't do any substances. Tammy, thank you, and it seems like you're about to be kicked. You're just like that much. Thank you, Tammy. Let's all have a big W for Tammy in the comments. She saved us from the biggest headache that all of us likely will have and are currently having, at least me. Thank you, Tammy. You're the best. You always come in clutch, big time.
Again, the guys with zero body counts who like talk about this and label themselves as celibate are some of the grossest human beings. I don't understand why they keep trying to make this moral connection there or some sort of value statement based off of that.
All right, guys, let's have a small little breather before we get to next guest. I see a few in the box. We'll get to you.
I arrived.
Oh, you're back. You can stay up here, Corey. That's fine. My heartburn is starting to come back up, but it's probably not helping that I'm eating peanut butter right now. I'm doing it to myself.
Have a glass of milk if you have heartburn.
I think that makes it worse for me, for some reason.
Oh,
I don't know why. Whatever, it's okay. I'll deal with it.
lactose is normally good for heartburn.
I'll just eat the rest of the Tums that I have. I'll eat it like candy. It's all good. Make sure you guys send in the heart me there at the top left. Make sure you give me a follow if you're enjoying the live in the top left. Follow Corey, follow Erica. They should have a little more than 4 and 15 coins, guys. They're offering a lot to the live. A little bit of support goes a long way. My pay links are in the bio if you want to send anything to me. It's never needed, never expected. I do always appreciate it, of course. And if you're watching on the tube, like the live, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let's get to the next guest.
Oh yeah, I forgot Doug's a bit lactose intolerant. Sorry, Doug. I did.
Let's not bring that one up. Let's not bring that one up. I'll bring that one up in the far future, but not now. If you know, you know. Oh my gosh. All right, this one's loading. I don't think it's coming up. Remember, guys, we are looking for people who think body count does in fact matter. Shut up, Marina.
Hello.
Hi, how you doing, guest? Hello.
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm great. So just a heads up, I'm only looking for people that believe that believe body count matters. Do you believe body count
Okay,
matters?
that is no, I do not. That's why I was asking in the comment section. Because
Okay.
I was gonna just answer that like it's because of control. But a
Oh,
lot
I
of people
agree.
don't want to admit to the fact that it's control. But yeah, I'm
No,
gonna let you
100%.
guys go. Have a good
Thank
day.
you so much. Take care. I agree. I think it's oftentimes control and insecurities for the most part, it seems.
Oh, let's hope he's gone.
Oh no, I'm so intrigued on what Taco Cat would have to say about this.
Are you there, Taco Cat? Yes, no? I don't think that. This one, I think, is a friendly also. Remember, guys, we're only looking for opposition. Opposition being anybody who thinks body count matters. Hello, Rosal. Goodbye, Rosalind. All right, Taco Cat, I don't believe you're here anymore, so I'm going to go ahead and bring you down.
To be fair, maybe Taco Cat was never really here. Maybe he was actually just like all of our subjective psyches coming up with one of the worst human beings we can think of. It just kind of was made manifest on TikTok itself.
I think that's highly likely, to be honest.
Somebody said, what was this? Somebody said, having standards for who you date is not insecurity. Sure, in general, right? But it depends on what your standards are. In this case of this standard, I believe it stems from insecurity. I think you're trying to make it look nice and put it like a little bow tie on it to make it sound like a good, like a standard. But I think it's just insecurities within that bow tie of that box. Sorry. That's just what I believe it is.
Also, I just wonder what standard apparently is violated by this, right? Like, what are you saying has been broken or ruined, or I don't even know.
Yeah. Like having a standard of I want somebody who is honest, right? That's a good standard to have, right? Because it can be problematic when someone's not honest, right? Bad things can happen, et cetera, et cetera. We all agree, right? Yeah, sure.
Oh, I just want to read. I think Michael thought he had a good point when he said this. He said the CDC.gov explicitly lists having multiple sex partners as a risk factor for STIs. Michael, what does the S in STIs stand for? I think you'll find it's pretty difficult to get an STI without having any of the S? I need you to go and think about what you've done.
Michael, why don't you just come on up? Here's the deal. You're allowed to share, you're allowed to speak, you're allowed to say all the things you want. However, it has to be up here on the live with Corey and Eric and myself, but you're just muted otherwise, okay? Looks like for 5 minutes. So let's just come on up. But yes, to what Erica said, yes, you have to have intercourse in order for that to be in 99.9. But obviously, there's rare scenarios in which you can get STI otherwise. But for the most part, yes, you have to engage in that. We all agree. Nobody says otherwise, right? But again, that goes back to practicing safe sex. And if you want to do that, take those tests before you have sex with your partner. Okay. But all the time when I have somebody come on up who says body count matters, I ask them, hey, if they took a test to show that they don't have the STI and they still have a body count that's like 10 or above or whatever, does it still matter? And they say yes. So it has nothing to do with STIs. It's just it's a cop-out answer.
Oh, Michael came back on another account. It's interesting, Mike, that you think women need to be educated and men don't, when women typically have higher levels of education than men do. Crazy work.
So, Mike, you can come back in as many counts as you want. It's really easy to mute you for 5 minutes on all of them. And again, you've been invited to come talk to the people up here.
Right.
You're currently hiding.
It's not like we're denying you to come on up. You can come on up and say everything that you're saying in the comments within the context of this conversation. You're allowed to. It sounds like you just want to hide in the comments and say stuff because you aren't secure enough to come on up here and say those things. That's what it sounds like to me. But hey, what do I know?
Michael, I guess what we're saying is that you're a fraidy cat.
That's one way of saying it, yes. Marina, it seems like some people's entire day-to-day life is just making new TikTok accounts. There's always like one or two people that just continuously make one and make one and make one and make one. All right. I am getting a phone call. You guys know the deal. They won't be able to hear you though. So I won't speak to them too long because I know you guys really would want to chime in. So let me answer. It's just no, they're not going to be able to hear you at all. Okay, so it's got to be a one-on-one between me and this person. Hello, guest. How you doing? Hello, guest. How you doing?
How do you feel about Elon being I'm all right. How do you feel about Trump being a trillionaire or Elon being a trillionaire?
Oh, well, that's not the topic. I just need to know your age before we converse. How old are you? And this is just for TikTok terms of service.
44.
Okay. So do you think do you think body count matters?
Depends on the woman.
Okay. Elaborate.
I mean, if they've been with a lot of people, then, it's like throwing hot dogs down hallways at that point, you know what I mean?
I don't know what you mean.
You said it.
Well, no, you said it depends.
You don't know what kind of.
You said it depends on the woman.
Well, it's like when you throw. Yeah, it's like if she's been with plenty of men, like I said, it's like throwing a hot dog down a hallway.
Really? So let me ask you this. If one woman has been with 20 guys one time each, how is that any different than her being with the same guy 20 different times? How's that any different? The penis is still going in the vagina 20 times. What's the difference?
So are we talking like a year?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Hold on. You're insinuating that it gets. Let me please speak. You're insinuating that it gets looser as she has sex more. How is it any different than if one guy does it 20 times?
Not really looser, but I mean, like it's like sticking foreign objects up there. I don't want to know where, I'd rather have someone who hasn't had sex whatsoever.
But why? But why?
Like a virgin.
But why?
Why does virginity matter? Because it's pure.
Pure? What does pure mean? Wait. What does pure mean?
You don't want to buy a...
Slow down. What do you mean by pure? Because that's a really nasty word to use to associate with another human being, especially a woman in this case. Pure? Why?
Not tainted.
But you're allowed.
It's like,
But
it's like again,
hold on. What do you mean by tainted though? Well, we're
no,
talking.
no, 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 no.
We're talking about a
I'm gonna
human
give you
being
an
here.
option. You can have this.
Hold on. We're
You
talking.
can have a 1970 POS.
We're not talking about cars here. We're not talking about cars here. We're talking about human beings, okay? For one. So let's not mention cars. And it sounds like you're okay with having sex as many times as you want. Why is it okay that you're allowed to sleep around as much as you want, but the woman's not?
I'm okay with having sex as many times as I want.
So you have to be pure also?
Having sex as many times.
You have to be pure also?
I mean, that's what it says in the Bible, correct?
Okay, so this is all just based on the Bible then.
Oh, so, but it's okay for Jewish people to suck baby penises. That's okay though, right?
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, but
Okay.
okay. You want to know the real?
You should read the Talmud.
You want to know the real?
You should read the Talmud.
You want? I think I think all religions are crazy. Okay, how about that? All religions are crazy. All right.
Okay.
Now we covered it all. Cool. Okay. So you know the real reason why you want a quote unquote pure woman? You want to know the real reason? It's not the Bible. You want to know?
Yeah. Yeah. Tell me how you think I think.
Yeah, so the real reason why you want a pure woman is because you're incredibly small down there. You have zero ability to please a woman, and you want this almost girl in this scenario to not know the fucking difference, for her to be able to compare her to a guy who knows what the fuck he's doing. So you want to be able to control her in that sense, so she just doesn't know any better. That's why you want that.
Okay.
And you know that's the reason. And you know that's the reason deep down.
Well, I'm 44 and my wife is 21, and I met her when she was 18 and she was still a virgin.
Oh, right, so you're just making yourself sound worse and worse. So listen, guys, this guy's 40-something. He met her when she was 18, okay? So you're just playing into exactly what I just said. You want a woman that knows...
Yeah, I met her in college.
Right.
We went to the same college together.
I don't know if I have much else to say to this, guys.
Are you just more mad that you couldn't get a youngin and you had to settle with an old broke down?
What? But now you're doing this thing again. Hold on. Why is it that you want a young woman versus someone who's in their 30s? Why?
Health-wise, they can produce kids easier. I mean, the younger the woman, the easier it is for them to have kids without any complications during pregnancy.
Okay, so that's why you want a woman who's young.
Why are we put on this earth? To procreate, correct?
No. There's no. First of all, I don't believe. I don't believe there's a single reason. No, shush. I don't believe there's a single reason why we're here on Earth. We're just here. You can make what you want out of it, okay? You can procreate if you want. I think that's also an odd word to use, but you can have children if you want. You don't have to if you don't want. It doesn't fucking matter. There's no reason why we're here. Make what you want out of life. However, though, if you're trying to find a woman who at this point was basically a girl, I guarantee you met her before the age of 18, you just don't want to say it. Yeah, I think that's a problem, because that is a very controlling factor.
Why don't you just mind your own business?
Oh,
and let
okay.
people do what they want behind closed doors?
Oh, okay, so you want me to mind my own business when you're trying to do creepy things.
I mean, who says you don't do creepy things, probably?
What creepy things do I do?
What creepy things do I do, according to you?
You just mentioned like fucking 5 of them, man. You just mentioned 5 of them, and that's what you were willing to. And that's what you were willing to. I didn't say 5-year-olds. I didn't say 5-year-olds. I said 5 of them. Okay, and this is what you were just. Okay, all right. I'm gonna mute him. Because his voice is fucking annoying. And this, guys, is what he was just willing to mention on a live stream in front of 200 people. Imagine what he is not willing to mention in front of 200 people. I guarantee you, much worse. If you were speaking there, nobody heard you. Now you can speak.
People like you make me fucking laugh.
But that was a fake laugh, though. And guys, 30K. Let's make it 30K to like. We'll get to new guests. We're looking for opposition. That was a fake laugh. That wasn't real. But that.
You make me laugh.
But it wasn't a real laugh, though.
Oh God, you guys are so delirious. Just worrying about other people's shit. You know, you can't just let people enjoy their life.
Hold on.
As long as it doesn't affect you.
Hold on. If a parent essays their kid, Can I worry about that, or is it just not my business?
I mean, if you want to make it your business and get involved, sure, that's your prerogative. But
But you know what?
I mean, if you want to make everyone else's business your business, then sure.
In the scenario of a parent, hold on. I want to make sure you heard me clearly. In the scenario of a parent graping their child, we should just let them be.
Well, isn't that the authorities' responsibility to take action?
How would they know if I don't get in the middle of it? How would they know if I don't get involved?
Well, I mean, then you want to be that neighborhood watch guy that, oh shit, he's taking out his trash too late.
All right, I'm done. That's it.
I just want to. I feel like it's very important to point out that males also have biological clocks. After the age of 35, the quality of sperm begins to deplete. It's sure slower than for females, but the quality of sperm begins to deplete at age 35.
I just really love Doug's the nosy neighbor for reporting
grape for a child grape. Guys, I'm the bad person here.
we all got that nosy neighbor who can just never keep to himself, always gossiping about who's inappropriately harming their children. Like, what the
All right. Who's next here? We're looking for opposition, please, guys. People who think body count matters. Hi, Paul.
Hello.
How you doing?
Fine, thank you.
I'm doing great. Just for TikTok terms of service, I just need to know your age, please.
I'm 60 years old.
Okay, cool. And you think body count matters?
It doesn't.
Okay, I'm only looking for people who think body count does matter. Okay.
Well, but I can tell you something.
All right.
Apparently you can't.
By the way, for people on YouTube, I am streaming on another platform, right? So when I say 30,000 likes, I understand. I don't even know how many likes I'm at on YouTube. I don't watch the likes there. I understand I'm probably not even at 100. I don't fucking know. I'm talking about TikTok likes, okay? Learn to understand that, please. We are looking for ops, right? How you doing, Corey?
I'm good. I bought a new car over the weekend for my family,
What car?
So I got a Chevy Blazer EV.
How was it?
And it's so my last car, the car that I drove for 13 years, was a Nissan Altima. So it wasn't quite up to date with some of the new car features. So I've been.
No, I get it. Yeah, it probably feels really nice to have like the current car features, right?
It's nice. It is
like
nice.
A camera?
The one
backup camera?
Yes. Oh my goodness, Doug. I have been using that for. Yeah. Oh, I love it. I love it so much. I don't.
Driving everywhere backwards now, just so we can use the cameras.
I don't like, because parallel parking stresses me out, even though I've been doing it for like 5 years now, and it's just like,
I get that.
Wait, you're telling me I actually can just do it? I have the overhead camera that shows like where you are in alignment to like everything else around you. I'm like, oh, this is amazing. Anyways, I'm happy.
Yeah, no,
I'm also broke now, so
that same thing happened to me when I had to get a new car back in 2022, and the car that I had at the time was like a 2010. So it was really nice getting like Apple CarPlay, backup camera, the thing that keeps me in the lane, and so it was so nice.
I have a question though, Corey. Is it really a new car, or has it been run through?
I think he's frozen. I think
Corey's frozen. Probably
he's
for
frozen.
the best.
He's frozen in the best position.
Sorry, was that me?
We didn't hear you.
Great.
You froze.
Oh, sorry. My bad. I was gonna say the only stressful thing for me is because I've never driven an EV before. I have no idea where I can charge it in Chicago. So I'm like, okay, well, this is gonna be stressful because like they're weird. And what's the car's body count, everybody? So far, I did drive 55 in a school zone, so it's up there. But like, I don't think we should be judging.
I'm sure he did, Rock. I'd imagine you looked into the car before you bought it, right? I'd hope. Before I got my car, I was really like I spent an entire month looking into it. I can get like really obsessed with certain things. For anybody that knows me, if you don't know me
I
well,
find that hard to believe.
yeah,
Just,
I can get hyper focused on certain things. So when I knew I needed to get a new car, that was all I was fucking thinking about. That all I was looking into throughout like an entire month. Like that was it. Yeah, it was good. It was fun stuff.
Erica, are you guys still on vacation in Britain, or are you guys all...
we haven't even started yet, Corey.
Oh, I thought you guys started your, like, 2 week. My bad.
No. Oh, we had I had a week off like 2 weeks ago, but summer doesn't start until something like the 16th of July.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So I'm in crazy time of year. This is the worst time of year.
Oh, we might have a guest here. I didn't mean to cut you off. BB, hello.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, doing great. I just need to know your age before we move forward. How old are you?
I'm 26.
All right. And do you think body count matters?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. For all people equally, men more so, women more so, or whoever? What?
For me personally, I think it, as a man, look, it should be equal. However, I feel like so from the prompt, like it shouldn't really be a shame on the woman, but I can understand why. Because look, if you've got one man that sleeps with 4 women, right? You know who the father is. If one woman sleeps with 4 men, you want to know who the father is. Now you can say DNA testing, this is that, but we're talking just historically, right? So,
but we weren't even talking about being pregnant. Like that's a different thing. I mean, we can explore that. I'm fine exploring that. But like, what if she's not pregnant? Then why does it matter?
my main thing is about pregnancy, to be honest.
But what if she's not pregnant? Like, it's not like a woman gets pregnant every single time, especially if you're practicing safe sex.
And why are we talking historically? It's the year of our Lord 2026. We don't have to talk about historically.
This is true. We don't need it
because we're not living in history. We're living now.
Yeah, but this didn't start happening just today in 2026. This will be happening forever.
But we don't live in the year 5. We live in year 2026. That's like saying, like, that's like talking about cars and saying, well, there were cars in the year 100. Well, that's not what we're talking about.
Look, for me, I'm a Muslim, right? So for me, it's equal. So from a Muslim perspective, both should be 0. Like from a Muslim perspective, like until you get married.
But why?
From a Muslim perspective, both should be treated equally.
You keep saying that, but why?
Because, again, as I mentioned, from a Muslim perspective, both should be 0.
But I don't know how.
Because again, from the Abrahamic faith, it's a sin to have sex before marriage. That's why I said yeah, to me, yeah, and to Islam and I think Christianity, sex before marriage, is that a sin as well?
But I'm going to ask this though. But like, why is the responsibility not put on you also? Because you're the one who's engaging in sex too, in addition to the woman, right? Like it's not her sole responsibility.
No, but for a Muslim, women and men, it's equal. Both should be 0. So there's no. It's both. The burden's on both of them, as a man and a woman. If they're both 0, That's equality.
Right, but previously you said, but I understand why people think it's worse in women than it is in men.
From a pregnancy
So,
perspective, I was referring to.
but we're not talking about pregnancy.
Well, I don't have any comment to that, but I'm talking about from a pregnancy perspective.
But even then, in the year of our Lord 2026, that it's not a thing. You can, as you pointed out, you can have DNA tests. So
Mm-hmm.
So, guys, we're looking for opposition. Please keep tapping, keep sharing. I don't know where this conversation is really going to go at this point. Can you give an argument outside of religion?
No, not really, because for me, that's what we base our lives on.
That kind of sucks.
Why does it suck?
Wouldn't it be nice to like base your life on like you and not what a book tells you to do? Wouldn't that be kind of convenient?
So are you against like religious teachings?
You're welcome to be religious. I don't want to take that away from you. I'm just saying, don't you think it would be
Why?
nice to
It sucks according to
not have
you.
a book
Yeah.
tell you what to do?
Not really, no.
So you're happy with a book dictating how you live your life?
100%, yeah. I mean, it's not just a book. It's
It is.
there's
I mean, it is.
it's not
a
just a
book.
book.
Well,
Okay,
what
so
else is it? What else is it?
there's the seerah of the prophet.
Okay. All right. I mean,
So
if you're
that's
happy with that, that's fine. Man. That's fine. I mean, I don't want to take away from you if you're happy and that you feel better with your life.
I have a question. I have a question though. Right, you understand that the Quran and the Sunnah and the Hadith come from a specific time and place, right?
Right.
And that circumstances in that time and place are completely different from the circumstances that we live in now. And I completely understand that there are, I think it's like the four schools who kind of deem whether new things are allowed or not, basing it upon the teaching of the prophets and the hadiths. But do you think that if Prophet Muhammad had lived now in this time and place, that the things he had say, because you're British, right?
Yeah.
Okay. If he'd have lived in modern Britain, do you think that the things he would have said about the society that we live in and the way that you should live, do you think they would be the same as you are living your life in accordance with the words and the actions of the Prophet and the Quran?
No, because it's a whole different world right now. It's if he lived now, he wouldn't be facing the same. He wouldn't be in the same situations that necessarily that he was in. But you can say that about anything. Like it's a whole different time. So
Well, you can, but I'm not living my life
because
I'm not living my life based on rules that were set 1,400 years ago.
Yeah, but you keep saying you saying the Lord's year of 2026, right?
I'm being facetious. I'm not religious.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look. So are you against Christianity?
I'm not against any religion. I'm not against, and I think just by the way I was talking, you'll understand probably more than Corey and Doug do, that I probably understand a little bit about Islam.
Yeah.
And I have full respect for anybody who is religious, except the only time I lose that respect is when that religion is used as a weapon to beat people with. And I don't really care what religion it is that is being used as a weapon. I care about the weaponization of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, no, I totally respect that.
So I have no truck with the people that are on the streets of this country right now blaming Muslims for a whole ton of stuff that isn't Muslims' fault, and who are talking about things said in the Quran and the Hadith and taking them out of of context. I have no truck with that. The same as I have no truck with people that take things from Christianity out of context to make them look good or look bad. But I just think it's worth critically thinking about things, in the sense, and I'm not trying to dissuade you from what you believe, but I just think it's worth critically thinking about, like, if this person was around now, what do I think from what I've read of what they said, like in a modern context, what would they be saying if they were living in the world that I'm living in about these things? And I genuinely don't think most people from history, were they living now, be they the Prophet Muhammad, be they Jesus, be they like Guru Nanak, or even be they like Henry VIII, or whoever they are, they wouldn't. Teachings are based on context. They're based on time and place and what's going on,
Correct.
wherever. And I would find it really difficult to follow a set of rules that are 1,400 years old.
Yeah, I mean, look, for me as a Muslim, look, we believe he was we believe in Jesus as a prophet. We believe in Moses. We believe in all the prophets, and we believe that he was the last messenger. There's no messenger that's gonna come after him. So yeah, look, if that could have been like, it could have been 100 years ago, but it's for us, we believe, look, God decided, okay, look, he's the last messenger, and it's been that long since he's come. So we'll follow that last message until the end of times.
But you still agree with progress, right? That we should, as humans, still be making progress and not living in the world as it was 1,400 years ago.
Yeah, but for that, like, everyone's definition of progress is different. Like, for us, like, we're taught, obviously, look, if you're saying, okay, obviously you have your own points, but my points is, in terms of progress, is it really progress if we're taught that adultery is a sin, gambling, alcohol, all these kind of things? In the West, that's like, yeah, we're drinking, that's like that's good progress, freeing the people to do what they want, drinking, gambling, what this is that. To as a Muslim, that's not progress, that's obviously sinning. So but then there's other points you can make as well about progress. But 1,400 years ago, we were told, gambling, adultery, all these kind of things are a sin, and that's still and why it's a sin, and how it leads to your detriment, and that still applies 1,400 years later. So it still applies today. So there are.
Hey guys, we can get. I don't mean to cut you off, guys. We can get to new guests after this conversation's wrapped up. I know you guys kind of want to get to a new one. I apologize.
Apologies, yeah, sorry.
I don't think we're really talking about the background anymore.
Yeah,
anyway.
No, we're not. No, good. Let me go ahead and bring you down. I do appreciate the conversation.
I'll drop it. I appreciate your.
All right. Yeah. I hope you have a good one. All right. Take care. Sorry, guys. I know everybody was starting to get a little. I was getting tired of getting on this, so let's get to the next one. We are only looking for opposition. Please keep tapping and sharing, sending your heart me. Follow myself, Corey, Erica, if you join live, and I think Erica should be well beyond 15 coins, but that's just my opinion. I think she's put in more work than Corey.
Look at the
10 times the coin she has.
Coinsogyny that's going on up here right now.
Hi, Momo.
Hi, how's it going?
It's going. How old are you?
28.
Okay, I appreciate that. And I guess we have another guest up here, and that's totally fine. We can have a group convo. Momo, are you opposition, meaning do you believe body count matters?
Yeah, I believe body count matters,
okay.
100%.
Cool. Okay, great. I'll get to you in just 1 second. Hold on 1 second. I just want to see if the new guest is on track to it, and then we can have like a group convo. Super, how old are you?
I'm 38 years of age. How are you?
Okay, and are you opposition?
Opposition to...
Yeah, do you think body count matters?
Oh, yes, of course.
Okay, cool. So I guess, yeah, we'll have a group conversation. Let's just make sure we try not to talk over people, guys. Let's try to be as respectful as possible. So let's get to Momo first, since she came up first. I introduced her first. Why do you think body count matters, Momo?
So I just want to clarify something first of all, right? I'm not going to bring religion into this. I was born and raised Muslim. I'm an atheist. Religion doesn't matter to me when it comes to this argument. The reason why I think body count matters is a basis of basically diseases, the way that they're spread, the fact that HPV, HSV, they're not tested for in regular, STI panels, and people don't acknowledge these facts. And these things can both harm a woman, a man, and a baby that's, in utero. And these things are more likely to occur if you tend to have a higher body count. But also, the reason why I personally, as a woman, do not believe in, oh, okay, I'm reading comments and people are like, well, what about protection? No, you can still get these diseases even if you use protection. But furthermore, I do not trust a man whom I feel like, if I'm going out on a date with him and I ask him, oh, how many people have you slept with? And if he's the same age as me, which is 28, and he tells me, oh, it's like 20 plus, 10 plus, or whatever, I think to myself, okay, why do you lack the self-control to be with someone schmexually that you're not in love with? Because you're not in love with all 10 of these people, right? And none of them have been. So to me, I think that it matters. I think you should not have schmex with someone unless you are truly in love with them. And people can disagree with me on that. I'm coming from a completely non-religious perspective. I just feel like this is a moral decay. And people can disagree with me. You can say, oh, it's about schmexual liberation. Ultimately, I disagree. I think, liberation's super important, but I can still say that I hold true to my values in terms of, what I feel about when it comes to the spread of diseases and stuff like that, and I disagree. So these are my thoughts on that.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Thanks. Corey or Erica, any of you want to respond to that? I don't know if any of you guys.
Well, there's now vaccinations for HPV, right?
There's no vaccinations for HSV though.
No, but
most
will
people
be.
But most people who have to get vaccinations for HPV have to pay for them. It's like £500.
Not in the country that I live in. They don't.
No, no. You live in the UK. I'm guessing by your accent. I live in the UK too, and know that it costs people.
No.
After the age of 16.
I work at a school.
Okay, you're in a school. You're talking about people under 18, though, right?
They give, and they have done for the last. They're boys and girls now. Both get it.
Up until what age? Up until what age?
What is there any chance? I don't know why you're quite so like. You could let me finish.
Because you're not making sense, though. You have to acknowledge the fact that after the age of 16, you have to pay for that vaccination, right?
Right.
Okay, that's my point.
Hang on. Right. Is there any chance I can finish before you start, like...
Go ahead.
You can mute while I'm talking. So, I think the HPV vaccine was brought in about 8 or 9 years ago, something around there. And only girls got it at school, but now boys and girls get it at school. So those people that got that vaccine 8 or 9 years ago at the age of 13, they're now going to be in their early 20s. Sure, I don't know how much. I've never looked into getting it because I'm 47. I'm past all that crap. But the point is, no, you don't have to pay for it. If you get it at the right time, then you get it for free.
At the right time. That's the point that I was trying to make. You're talking about under 16s. I'm talking about people, right, who are above that age, and they do not get that in the UK. It's not free in the UK for people above the age of 16. And it poses a danger to women in their 40s and beyond. So yeah, even if the vaccination mandates are protecting women, like, and girls under the age of 16, right, for when they turn 40, whatever, it's not protecting women currently. That's my point.
No, it is protecting some women currently because the first people to get it are now women, and it is protecting them.
Women of what age?
Hold on 1 second. Super, I know you also said body count matters. I assume you may have a different reason. Did you want to chime in on this, or did you want to bring up a different point?
Well, for me, I think in general, it's wise to observe an individual's behavior and make rational judgments based on such. For me, body count would be an indicator that, somebody may not be so sexually responsible as I would deem to my standard, especially if that was extremely high. When somebody has access to certain things, be it alcohol or Smeg's or whatever it is, could be chocolate. When somebody is obsessive, when somebody has such low self-control that they are just, indulging in such without being able to stop, for example.
But you're assuming that person is intentionally trying to control their behavior. Like, for example, if I like chocolate and I have chocolate every day and I have no desire to control it, that's not me having an inability to control my desires. I just want to have it.
Yeah,
there's a
and
difference.
this is the point. But when it reaches a point where it could damage your health, if you then can't stop, you have a serious problem.
Okay, but then you're talking about like like sex addiction and things like that, which is way to the extreme.
I understand, but we're speaking on habits. Habits.
But there's a lot of middle ground between having quote unquote sex addiction and somebody who has slept with like 20 people in their life.
Yes, I understand
there's
that.
A lot big middle ground between those two.
Yeah, I understand, but human beings throughout, the dawn of time, we value things that are scarce, rare, and hard to get. We value those things. So when somebody makes themselves so easily available, meaning, they've got a high body count, that person, in my view, is a lower value individual because they do not exhibit.
Super.
Yes.
Super. Sir. If you had the ability to sleep with a different woman every single day, would you?
No.
You wouldn't.
It's disgusting. No.
You wouldn't. Okay. Well, here. Okay.
Probably,
you can say that. You can say that. You can say that. You can say that. But most men would say yes to that.
No, but
right?
host,
if they had ability. Hold on. Let me please speak on my goddamn live. Most men would say yes to that. If they had ability to sleep with anyone they wanted at any time, they would do so. Most of this, again, just stems from jealousy. The fact that, like, women, if they can pick and choose a little bit easier than men can. It's not about being scarce or not. We're not items. Humans are not items. You're, again, comparing women to items. What?
I could do that if I wanted to. I could go out there and sleep with a different woman every day if I wanted to.
I'm sure you could.
And that's not me flexing.
And we're not talking about paying for it, by the way. We're not talking about paying for it, by the way.
But what's the difference?
Okay, so you can sleep with a different woman every day as long as you pay.
No. I'm saying, what's the difference? Does the body count matter if you're paid for it or not?
I don't think body count matters at all.
Okay, so why did you mention if you paid for it, it doesn't count?
I was insinuating that because you said that you can sleep with a different woman every day, and I didn't believe you. And I said I was insinuating that the only way that you would have that ability is if you paid for it. Okay. It was me insulting you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, even if I did pay for it, I wouldn't need to. But even if I did pay for it, it still wouldn't make me any more valuable, or it's disgusting behavior.
Right. It has nothing to do with value. What you do with your own body, consensually with other human beings, has nothing to do with your value.
No, it does, because your patterns of behavior they show who you are. So if you're looking for, it depends what you're looking for. You don't mind having a woman that's had a body count of 50, 1,000, 1,000,000. You don't care.
I don't ask. I don't ask.
I do.
I don't ask.
No, but
I don't ask.
If you found out that your partner had a body count of just say 500, you wouldn't care. I would. I'd be disgusted. I'd leave.
Let's say you were with that woman for 20 years, you were deeply in love, you had 2 kids, loved everything about her, and then you found out prior to you she slept with 100 guys, you would let him leave?
But the thing is, I would have asked.
Would you yes or no? Would you yes or no? Would you yes or no? Just please,
yes.
It's a yes or no.
Yes.
You're a piece of shit. Then you're a piece of shit.
I don't care.
Okay, so that's even worse. That's even worse.
So is she.
That's even worse.
Wait. Can I just say something, host? I feel like if I were with someone for 20 years, right, the conversation would have come up before.
This is
about
what I was trying to say.
Yeah, exactly.
It was
so
a hypothetical. It was a hypothetical, but he still answered it in a way that made him look really bad.
No, but I'm just trying to say that I don't feel like it's fair for someone to be sworn at for having this view. And I'm coming at from this perspective of someone who's basically saying, right, I would ask my partner how many people they've slept with. And if they told me that they slept with a certain amount, because it would matter.
Why would you ask? Why would you ask? That's so weird.
You're not letting me
To me, that's no different than you asking how many peanut butter sandwiches you had in your life.
Why
that's how little
about her?
That's how little it matters. Go ahead.
So my point is, right, the likelihood of them having like an incurable disease like HPV or HSV is much higher, especially when you're talking to someone who is above the age of like 18 to 20, because they tend to not have been the ones who were given the vaccine for HSV, okay?
Oh,
For HPV. So
by the
I
way,
would be
how
worried.
old were you?
Wait, let me
No, no, no.
Somebody, but hold on, no, wait,
Can
hold
you
on.
let me
'cause somebody-
finish? Can you let me
Hold on,
finish?
there's
'Cause
too many
you're
people,
repeating
too many
it.
people, too many people, too many people. All right.
Yeah, can you guys let me finish?
Okay,
Yeah.
wrap it up quickly and then Eric can go. Yeah.
Thank you. So my point is, it would matter to me because the likelihood of them having this sort of disease, right, would be something that would make me want them to get specialized testing, which can be extra costs even in a country with free healthcare like the UK. And if I found that out about them, I would want them to do that to prove to me that they're not going to give me an incurable STD. The more sexual partners you have, the more likely you are to have an incurable STD. It's facts. It's facts.
Okay. Erica, I know. Hold on, Corey. I know you want to go, but Erica was going first, and then you can go, Corey.
Well, I want to point out, I just went and looked at when the HPV vaccine was rolled out for 12 and 13-year-olds in this country. It was 2008. And it was also backfilled for anybody up to the age of 18, all for free on the NHS. So actually, if you had been living in this, if you had gone to school here, you would have had the HPV vaccine for free at school, the same as all 12 and 13-year-olds and up to the age of 18 at the time that it was rolled out. So there are now people in their 40s who had the HPV vaccine at school, just FYI.
Yeah, I appreciate you mentioning that because I moved to this country like 10 years ago when I was approximately 18, 19 years old, right? So I wouldn't have qualified for that, but I still paid for the vaccine because I could afford it, right? And that's the difference. Most people can't. It's messed up that the country would do that, but ultimately I still chose to protect myself. And I feel like that's the problem. This is something that's only afforded to people who can't afford it, right? And just because kids these days can doesn't mean I'm sleeping around with children. I'm basically saying, listen, this is the availability of the vaccine. There is still a likelihood that it can spread. Just be careful of who you share your body with. I don't know why this is controversial. This is coming from someone who's an atheist. I'm not religious at all. I'm just saying you do not have to share your body and your health and risk getting these diseases from people that you don't know. That is all.
So let's have. Okay, guys, we can get to a new guest at 50,000 likes. New guests. We'll bring up 2 more at 50,000. Corey, go ahead. If you're joining live, click the follow button, subscribe on YouTube, and follow Corey and Erica. Go ahead, Corey.
So a couple of things. First of all, I don't care that you're an atheist. Like this, every single time somebody feels the need to mention their lack of religious values, to me, it just makes this entire idea that they're trying way too hard to not try and pull the religious angle, and I just call shenanigans. Beyond that, though, your entire complaint is a lack of access to certain medications, and that's a problem with systemic issues that need to be addressed, not with body count. And finally, let's be clear about this. Like you're saying, I would end a relationship with this person. How dare Doug be angry at the idea of ending a several-year relationship with a person because the discussion of body count didn't come up, and when it did, you didn't like it. Let's be clear about this. If you have tested negative for all this stuff and you still end the relationship based off of body count, you are a piece of shit. It's a shitty perspective to hold. There's no point in defending that. It's just a gross human being who's judging somebody for something that doesn't matter. Because again, we've now established the medical aspect is already cleared, right? They tested negative on everything. They have clean tests, which means this person is ending a relationship for no reason other than because they're personally disgusted about something that should not be a big deal if they actually care about the person they're currently with.
So when you say it doesn't matter, is that objective or subjective?
Well, Phil, bro.
And any one of you can answer the question.
I can make both an objective and a subjective argument on the basis of morality. I'm a moral relativist. So everything I say is going to hold to a subjective perspective. However, you can still have bases for why you hold specific moral opinions. And if they're on shitty fucking ground, you can point that out.
But
And
that's
again, if
subjective.
you care, what?
That is subjective. So when
Oh my
you
God!
but
Hey, I
hold
got
on,
bad
sir.
news. I have really bad news for you, Super King. The whole
Go ahead.
subjective objective game is not going to save you here. If you end a relationship for what most people would consider to be stupid reasons, including yourself, if we just change the word from body count to peanut butter sandwich count, right, and everything else remains equal, it's still a dumb fucking reason.
You think having Smex is like eating a peanut butter sandwich?
Yes.
No, what
So would
I
you
think what he was trying to say.
hold on. Let me say my piece.
Go.
Yeah, you know what,
Another
Super King,
reason,
it does. You know what, sometimes, you know what,
another reason
Super King,
why
it's a lot like eating a peanut butter sandwich because I need a drink afterwards. Yeah, I need to hydrate.
So another reason why I'm disgusted by high body count is that if I was to engage in a long-term relationship with this woman, my partner, I would not want her to pass on those doctrines, those teachings to my children, whether male or female. Hold on, sir.
But you're in a monogamous relationship.
You spoke uninterrupted. So what I'm saying is that the mindset behind it, yes, we would be in a monogamous relationship. However, she may say, oh, to my daughter or my son, go out there and have fun. And I'm against that. So that would be a lifestyle clash. And this is my point. I would not want to be in a relationship with somebody who's giving herself to a whole load of other men. I don't want a recycled womb. Let's put it like that.
Jesus fucking Christ! You could not have come up with a shittier fucking God there. That is perhaps the worst.
But I agree with him because I would be disgusted if I were
So that's not
trusting
the
someone.
medical thing,
No,
Momo.
wait, Corey. I would be disgusted if I slept with someone and they were telling me like, oh yeah, sex to me is basically like having a peanut butter sandwich.
Exactly.
It's
No,
like,
that's not
oh,
what
you
he
are.
meant. That's not
That is what he meant. Why are
That's
you
not what
trying
he
to cut?
meant. That's not what he meant.
Why are you
What I'm
trying to
saying is
protect him? Let him talk for himself.
because
Let him talk for
he said the
himself.
same thing I said. Okay, I'll speak for myself. What I am trying to say is that I care just as little as how many times somebody had sex in the past as how many times they've had a peanut butter sandwich. That's how little it matters. That's the irrelevance of it. That's what I'm trying to say. The act of sex can be very the act of sex can be very, very important. Yes, it can have a lot of meaning. No one's denying that. I'm just saying your past is your past. I don't give a fuck.
Exactly. If you have no medical issues, right? You have no STIs from your past, then yeah, it's about as harmful or dangerous to you in your current relationship as how many peanut butter sandwiches they had previously. I'm sorry that you don't like that. I'm sorry that you're trying every excuse to just cover up the fact that you find something disgusting and you can't justify it anymore outside of because the whole medical thing fell the fuck apart. But the fact of the matter is that currently you're saying, oh, this is a mindset that this person has. Really? This person has a mindset of, hey, I found a person I want to be with for the rest of my life and I maintain a monogamous relationship and I love this person. But hey, before I met this person, I also lived life. God forbid your kids have a healthy perspective of sex. Just absolutely terrifying, right?
Does it shock you that I just wouldn't want my children to have like schmecks and treat it like something that's not sacred?
Exactly.
Is that shocking? Like, I just don't understand. I'm just shocked that the comments. I'm just shocked that the comments and you would be making me feel like, oh, you shouldn't be seeing it that way. Why shouldn't I? I care about my body. I care about myself.
Wait, hold on.
And it's okay. It's okay if you don't. It's okay if you don't, but you shouldn't be judging people for it, right?
Here's the difference, though. You're saying you care about your body, but we've already established that if people are doing things in a safe and consensual way, your body is not harmed or negatively affected by this. So you keep trying to use the health perspective here, but it doesn't work.
But it does, though. Just because you choose to ignore it doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
And you're saying, oh, sex is a sacred activity. You know what? People pray every day, too. So, if we're just going to have this whole thing that something is sacred, there's nothing wrong with doing something sacred more often or with multiple people. And beyond that, maybe you should advocate for your kids to, as a parent, I wouldn't want to talk to my kids about this subject, but I would want to ensure that since kids are probably going to fucking do it, they do it in a responsible manner and not have to feel the need that they have to hide this idea from me as their parent in a way that's actually going to be more dangerous for them at least in all likelihood. We have the stats behind this. More sexually repressed groups tend to have higher rates of teen pregnancy and STIs in their younger populations because you guys keep criticizing and condemning and treating it like it's a taboo instead of like it's a thing that people do.
That's not true.
It
Because
is.
if you
Teen
go to
pregnancy-
somewhere, hold on, if you go to somewhere like, let's just say Saudi Arabia, do you think they have the same amount of STIs and teenage pregnancy as in the West?
I would say they probably have more teenage pregnancy.
I was going to say.
They have more teenage pregnancy.
Yeah,
The
because
social shame.
hang
The
on,
social shame.
it's
Come
not.
on.
It's not because when you hear teenage pregnancy, you're thinking an unmarried woman who is a teenager and is
Correct.
pregnant.
Yes, I am.
Well, I'm talking about married women who are teenagers and are
Yeah,
pregnant.
but I'm talking about unmarried women.
Well,
Just like
well, but-
I'm comparing like for like.
Well, okay. Well, no, hang on. No, you're not, because you didn't say. You said teenage pregnancy, which I hate to break it to you, is when a teenager is pregnant. Teenage
yes,
pregnancy,
I
stop
understand.
interrupting me. Teenage pregnancy has nothing to do with whether you are married or not.
Okay.
Teenage pregnancy is a risk factor. It's an ACE, by the way. It's an adverse childhood experience. Whether you are married and pregnant as a teenager or whether you are unmarried and pregnant as a
Okay.
teenager.
Now you've cleared that up 5 times. Can we just
I
say now,
haven't actually
do
cleared it
you
up
think
5 times.
you're just
I
repeating
said
yourself?
no. I said,
And I agree with you.
well, apparently you don't, because
I
you
do
were
agree
only
with you.
counting. You were
But
only
because
counting
you don't
unmarried
listen and you
teenagers.
just want to keep on running with the narrative.
Guys, keep
what I'm
tapping. We're
saying
gonna get to 50,000 likes. Hey, Super, were you in Chris's live yesterday? Somebody named Chris.
Who's Chris?
You were in somebody's live yesterday. Did you say real men don't need consent?
What?
Did you say that? Did you say real men don't need consent?
They were talking about, would you ask to kiss somebody? And I said, no, I wouldn't ask. I would just do it.
Yeah, that's fucking gross, man.
But
That's
but
weird.
did you say those
You
words?
asked to kiss. You asked, yes, I did. Yes.
But just out of curiosity, because I was curious about this, the teen pregnancy rate in Saudi Arabia is 11 out of every 1,000. You know what's so that's a little bit on the higher end of wealthier countries, but it's around on par with healthier countries. If you want to know what countries are lesser than that, real quickly, it's 11 times less in Switzerland. It's 5 times less in Sweden. Spain is half that. Just kind of going through these other wealthy countries that would be considered to be a little bit more liberal than Saudi Arabia. Let's see here. Let's look at the United States just for funsies, shall we, everybody? The United States.
Two quick things. I'm sorry, Merlin. I just need to make sure you're in opposition because I'm only bringing up opposition. Are you an op? Do you think body count matters?
I'm sorry, I can't hear what you said.
Do you think body count matters? Goodbye. I'm not doing this. Okay, Serena, thank you for the 5 on the blue out with a B. It says, I've been with more than 20 men, primarily because I refuse to lower my standards and have terrible sex. Why is it my fault that most men can't satisfy a woman in bed? Maybe if men were honest about their inability to satisfy women would have lower body counts. Thank you, Serena. I appreciate that.
I can confirm. I'm very honest about my inability to satisfy a woman, and my body count is low as hell. So we got some good points there.
Just when is that what we mean when we talk about skill issues? Just a question.
All right, I am
That
looking
guy
for
was
opposition, though. Let me bring up the
That
opposition.
guy earlier was talking about men have to be more skilled. I think it sounds like they're not, though.
Well, Erica, for me, it's just, I don't like grind missions, so it's just, anyways.
All right, where are we at with things? Vegas, are you opposition?
Yes, I am.
All right, cool. I just need to know your age, sir. It's for TikTok terms of service.
I am 67 years old.
Thank you so much. Okay, and why do you think body count matters?
Body count matters for integrity, not for religion or judgment. Everybody's being judgmental. I tell my kids that body count doesn't matter until you're coming down to that moment when you want to spend your life with someone. And then it's kind of a truth test. Are they going to be honest with you? Are they going to lie? What are they going to tell you? You know, guys' body counts are counted in my day. If they bump against a girl and rubber tit, that's one, right?
Oh God. Okay.
I don't think it's something you want to know.
You're talking too much sense. You're talking too much sense for men who don't have the same values as you,
What
Vegas.
sense
That's
is
the
he
problem.
talking? Momo, what sensical thing did he just say?
He said that it's about integrity, and I have to be so honest with you, Corey and host. I just look at you guys and I'm just thinking to myself, like, I feel like you guys like have punched walls in your time. Have you?
Never punched a single wall in my life.
Never. Nope.
You're talking. I have to say, Momo, I know both of these guys. and
Okay,
I'm
Erica,
telling-
you don't have to be a pick me. I'm talking to them.
I'm not.
Tammy,
being
who's
a
that
pick
for? Hold on,
me.
time out. Tammy's kicking someone. Tammy, is it for Momo or Vegas? Just let us know in
I'm
the comments,
putting money
please.
on
Thank
it
you.
being Momo.
We'll see. I actually don't know. I have no idea. It's a 50-50 shot right
Damn,
here.
not
See you,
a
Momo.
real debate then. Bye.
It is. W Tammy, thanks again, Tammy. You're always the best. Again, coming in clutch as fuck.
I think I'm not saying it correctly. When I found out my daughter was when I found out my daughter was 16 and having schmecks, her boyfriend came in the garage and told me he loved her. I knew then they were having schmecks, and he told me how he would love her forever. And I told him, and I think this is more to what you're saying. I told him that I would like to see my daughter pick boys the way you pick a used car. You need to drive a few different sizes and colors before you know what you really want. And it's your business when and where you do that. If that's opposition, then that's opposition. That's my true feelings on it. I've said that to all my girls. You can't use body count as a way to get rid of someone or even to keep someone. Oh, she's a virgin. She's for me. Eventually, she's going to want to try other things. If you marry a virgin, I think you're taking a big risk.
I feel like I'm agreeing with some of the things that you're saying, but also not. It's really like I'm a little
That should be,
confused.
but that's the way it should be.
I think it's the way that you're phrasing it, maybe, because some of the things you're saying I can get behind. But it's maybe the way you're phrasing it.
You're probably right. I wasn't prepared. I apologize.
No, you're good. I'm just trying to wrap my head around just how you phrased it, because there are some things I agree with.
I got upset over the religion thing. I felt like everybody's being judgmental, and I don't think religion has anything to do with it except for your own personal likes and dislikes.
I agree. I 100% agree with that.
Yeah, and I think men lie about their body count, and I think women lie about their body count.
No,
for different reasons. For different reasons.
For different reasons. Exactly.
Men tend to increase it, whereas women tend to decrease it, I think.
Yeah.
I go with the 4-time rule. With my boys, it was if they told me something, then they're adding 4 times to it. With my girls, they're deducting. And then one of my girls said something very honest to me. She said, she goes, when a woman counts men, she doesn't count weekend men, only relationship men. That's her number. She doesn't count vacations, parties, drunks, just relationships.
Okay.
I don't know if that's true or not, but it sounded fairly true.
I don't know.
Makes you wonder.
Corey,
will you ever get a real number? Does it matter? I think it only matters when the two of you are together and deciding if you want to make a life for yourselves and you talk about everything there is to talk about. That's the only time it matters. And then it doesn't really mean anything. You're either in love or you're not.
Well, that last part I agree with, yeah.
And that's where you're getting that mixed message. I'm trying to say the only person it matters to is the person you're going to spend the rest of your life with.
Okay.
Other than that, I think... Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm trying to see what this has to do at all with thinking that body count matters. If it seems... Okay. Maybe I missed part of the conversation. I was taking care of my dog for a second. But the conversation is, does body count matter? And the conversation you seem to be having right now is, I don't think it matters as long as you're with somebody you care about.
No, I think it matters if you're going... It matters the day you decide to be with that person forever. That's my thing. I think that's when it matters. That's when it comes down to integrity. Will you be honest? Will you lie? What will you do?
I mean, does it? But why even have the conversation about how many people you've been with in the past if you're in a relationship now? Like I've been in plenty of relationships, and we don't really talk about how many people we've been with before because it's just like, who cares?
I'm in a relationship with a woman I've been with 35 years, and I lived through the disco era, man. I'm sure my body count, I never kept track, but I'm sure it was way up there.
But
we had an honest talk about that. I was a bartender.
Why is the question? What is the point of bringing it up in a conversation of how many people have you been with before me? Because again, I can't see that as anything other than just a conversation that seems to go nowhere.
I disagree. I think it's a conversation about you're going to be honest that one time with the one person you want to be with, you want to pair with, you want to partner with.
But what is the point of unless you're talking about, hey, I really like it when you're on my right? Like, it's the whole, like, if you're discussing things you like, I can see that perhaps as being like, oh, this is something I've tried before, maybe. But overall, just the body count conversation. Oh, I want to see if you're going to be honest with me.
I don't know. I think it's interesting that you're more willing to talk about all the different cars you've driven than all the people you've been with.
All the different cars? What?
That's what the conversation you're talking earlier, bragging about the different cars, and you've moved up in cars, but you don't want to talk to your partner about the people you've been.
Vegas, I talked about an exciting moment where I purchased my first new vehicle in over a decade, and that was something I did over the weekend.
Totally different conversation.
You know what? You know what, man? If I entered into a new relationship this weekend and I said I love you for the first time, I probably would have brought that up instead. But it's not like, ooh, I prefer one thing over another. It's just the highlight of my weekend was I went home to see my family and did something. That has nothing to do with my value.
That's true. No, that's true. I guess I'm making the point wrong. What I'm trying to say is, if you're going to spend your life with someone, if you decided to do that, then it matters. Because it's an integrity issue. This is who I've been with. This is what I've done. This is where I've been, and you know everything you want to know about that person before you commit. And then
seems like you're really creating a very dumb test.
That's not that's not a test.
It seems that you're saying it's about integrity though, right? It's now saying, oh, I'm going to ask you this question because I care about whether or not you're going to be honest with the answer. To me, that seems like a really weird purity litmus test.
And there we've hit the crux of it. Thank you. No, it's not a test for them. It's a test for you. Will you tell the truth? Will you tell the truth? You'll never know if you tell the truth.
Wait, but hold on. That's still just a dumb litmus test of honesty for no
yourself.
reason. Why are you, if you don't believe yourself to be honest, a test like that's not going to help.
That's not a test.
It is 100%.
Nope.
You're saying it's testing their integrity. You are putting
your integrity, not theirs.
That's what I said. And again, if you don't find yourself to have integrity, this test is not going to fix that.
If you truly love this person and you can't give them a real number, then
if you
what's wrong
truly
with
love
you?
this person or not, why are you bringing this subject up?
Right. The subject covers everything, and
No, it
honestly,
doesn't.
it
Why?
does.
Why?
If you're in a serious relationship, it's going to come up.
I have a huge gambling problem. My body count is 16, right? I feel like maybe these two things are both.
You can make fun of
But
it.
why do they need to? I don't understand why they need to know that number though specifically.
If you're going, this is only when you're committed. If you're committing to someone, if you're just casually dating or you're starting a relationship, that's a different thing to me. But if you're committing to someone, if you're telling this person everything there is to know, and you're both going to spend the rest of your lives together, then know everything. Know that you don't have to hide anything. That's all I'm talking about. It's a self-integrity. They're never going to know if you told the truth or not, but you will.
I see what you're trying to say, to be as open as possible. I sort of get what you're trying to say a little bit. I just don't think that number matters, though, is what I'm trying to say. Because some people may not even know their number to begin with, but I just don't think that's I just don't think that's a necessary thing to be said. Now, when you are dating someone, you definitely talk about past relationships, right? Because you want to get an idea
relationships,
of how
not hookups, though. You don't talk about hookups, talk about relationships.
No, for
right?
sure. Yeah. You talk about past relationships because you want to know how somebody behaves in a relationship. You want to know how the relationship ended, started, etc. Right? I think those are things people typically talk about. But as far as the amount of people that you put your thing into or thing was put into, whatever the case was, I don't think that matters.
I don't think. I was shocked to learn when I was in school long ago that some guys kept track. I didn't understand that.
Young guys
And-
do. Young guys do. It's an ego.
Yeah, young guys
Yeah.
do. Thank you.
Yeah.
Young guys do.
Yeah.
And it confused me. But then when I met someone I wanted to be with, and they knew I was a bartender, and I worked at, so I worked at a disco long ago. You know where I'm talking about. They were just meat markets, And I didn't think things like body count mattered. And then I got to thinking about who's sleeping with who and over again. And in the end, everybody sleeping with everybody in the bar. And I'm not talking about disease. I'm not getting into that. Just talking about, it came down to when this person asked me, and of course they did, would I tell the truth? And I didn't know the truth. As you said, I didn't know the truth.
Can I interrupt for a moment, Vegas?
Of course.
Corey and Doug, I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you both. Corey, can you unmute?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to count down, and I want you both to give me the answer at the same time. Okay? What is the word that we currently in science use for a womb? 3, 2, 1, go.
Uterus. Oh, did I say it too quick? Yeah.
Oh no, Corey was just slow. You were
okay.
right on. Corey was slow.
Okay.
Because Super King, who we had up here before, apparently he's a fan because he knows how old I am, so that's nice. But he said, you think a womb is a uterus at nearly 50. Yes, I do, because a womb is an outdated word for a uterus. It sounds like you're the one that needs to read a biology textbook, Super King.
You scare me when you put me on the spot sometimes, Erica, with these questions. I mean, I knew that one.
I feel like
I think there's been one time where you've done something similar and I didn't know the answer and I felt really embarrassed.
Look, I'm just not a good test taker.
Anyways,
okay?
I only asked you because you definitely knew
the
answer to the question.
Make sure if you ever do that, make sure you know I know the answer. I don't want to
I knew you knew the answer. But he thinks, didn't he say he was 55 when he came up?
60 something, I think.
67.
Well, now he's no, not you, Vegas. The guy before.
Okay.
Because now in the comments he's saying he's 38, and that I'm a granny, and that a womb is not the same as a uterus.
See, I just really want to go on to I really want to pull up Momo's profile instead and just watch as it says something like "God is great" on like her bio, because that's definitely something that's going to be there. But gosh, I hate watching him constantly say recycled uterus as if that actually means something. Like, I'm trying to understand what the connotation would be there. Like, what?
Well, what he doesn't understand is he would never get near a uterus. Like, I think you think that that's where you're putting your thing. It's not.
Yeah, you would have to be really big or something. But.
Well, I'm going to have to go. I want to thank you guys for being polite to me. This is my first actual contributing to a live stream.
Yeah, have a good one, Vegas. Take care.
I watch you guys, and I thank you for being polite.
Yeah,
enjoy
thank
your
you.
stream.
Thank you for the
Goodbye.
conversation. Take care.
Peace.
It doesn't matter if it's 9 inches. It's not getting past the cervix. But I very much doubt you know what a cervix is either. Jeez.
I mean, to be fair, that's the only wall I've ever hit.
Hey. Oh yeah, back to what you said before. That was pretty good. Oh, I like that. That was a good callback.
Yeah,
is that what it is, Erica? Callback?
Only took me 20 minutes.
It is called a callback.
That was a good callback. That was really good because he said Momo said we hit the wall, we punched a wall, and that was great. That was really good. I like that.
The thing that made me laugh about that is Momo called me a pick-me. I'm not a pick-me. Doug and I are friends. Like actual friends who talk and message each other. And what I can tell you, if Doug were to hit a wall, it'd be because his iPhone stopped working. Or
yeah,
that would be why he would hit a wall. It would be because of tech. It wouldn't be because of anything
that is actually
else.
very, very, very true. Yes. Yeah, Momo, you said Corey and I seem like somebody who would punch a wall. I have never punched a wall once. I never punched a locker in my life when I was younger. Now, I will admit when I was younger, actually there was one time where I wasn't so young, but when I was playing video games and I lost and I got mad and threw the remote. There was one time similar to that where I was not so young, but
Yeah, I have
Different story for a different time.
I have healthier
Or the
outlets for my
controller.
anger now.
Yeah.
It's called
That's good.
shouting at bigots on TikTok and weightlifting. Like
It does help. That does help. Yeah. That does help. Yeah, I broke a few N64 controllers when I was like 5 or 6 years old because I lost at a game. I was playing like one of my siblings or something. I got really pissed. They beat me at like Mario Kart. I just threw the remote.
Leighton said the correct thing was you know that PPAR can't work technology, which is so fucking true about Doug. So true. I've never met a millennial who was less tech savvy than Doug.
Low key, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you guys?
I'm doing great. How old are you?
I'm 25.
Cool. And you think body count matters?
I want to put this as in it matters on an individual basis. You can't just really use it so blanket wise, right? So, for example,
Hang on, can I
me.
just say it's a British invasion today, Doug.
I was just thinking that, Erica. Like, your people keep coming here.
Yeah, what the
I
hell
know,
is
I'm
this?
sorry. I must be pulling them in from somewhere.
Some sort of
Do I sound
portal.
really British or something?
They got
Well,
tired
yeah.
of
Well, yeah.
they got tired
Well,
of
fair
rioting
enough,
in
man.
Northern Ireland and now want to talk about body count. I guess I
You're
don't know
allowed
what's
to be
going on.
British. We accept Brits around here. We're accepting of you guys. Sorry. So, anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, no, me personally, I'm in London, isn't it? But yeah, it just kind of depends on the person, right? So for me, for example, for me and like people that I know, for like if I kept myself a certain way, for example, and then I met a lady who I would also want her to have that kind of same kind of moral standing as me in a way. So I would look for that. I would look for a reflection of myself in my lady. That is pretty much it, to be honest. Like if somebody had a, I don't know, that's often higher or lower than me, I would kind of feel a bit off about myself in that. I'd want somebody that had something similar to me.
But what are those values that like, what are the values behind that?
Is in you want to have long stay relationships with people, right? Like, and don't get me wrong. So just because somebody hasn't had long relationships with people doesn't mean that they don't care about having long relationships. They don't care about marriage. They don't care about future plans of a person, right? But it just kind of shows that even kind of your decision making skills in kind of picking somebody is a bit lacking if like you can't really. And again, a lot of things can affect this, right? Even if like you move away from somebody, etc. A lot of things can affect this, but I would still want somebody who has those kind of same morals that they're not really looking for casual things with XYZ person. They're just looking for something, they're just looking for somebody that they're going to date for years and years to come. Like my current partner, I've been with her for the last 3 years now. Me and her are very compatible in this way, right? We've both like been in a couple of relationships before this, right? But they are for over multiple years. Like you try to, like it kind of even shows motivation to try and make these relationships work with people.
Okay, but those don't have to be mutually exclusive though. Like one can have a body count that you may consider high for, but they can also value long-term relationships when they're in a position and ready to do so. Like let's say somebody broke it with their partner of a year. For at least a few months, they're not going to be ready for a relationship, or at least they probably shouldn't be, right? If they want to have a little bit of fun safely, cool, go for it, right? They want to have fun over a few months, 6 months, a year, and then they meet somebody. Maybe it wasn't quite the right person. It was 2 months, and then they kind of have fun again, and then they meet the right person, right? They can do both. Does that make sense? Like have fun, until you meet somebody serious, and then you do your serious thing with that person.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with that. Somebody can do that, right? But for me, for example, if I came out of a relationship, I've just had like my heart absolutely torn apart, right? Like, and like, these things do happen, right? I'm not saying these things can't happen to anybody, but still, I would look I would look inwards, and then I would just try and do things that are more productive. I would do things like, I'd go to the gym. I would learn a new skill. I would do something else that's like going to enrich myself, right?
That's all good
I
stuff.
don't need to. I don't need to go looking for. Sorry.
Can I just point out maybe an issue with your with your methodology here.
Go for it.
If you're specifically selecting people because they have a very similar like relationship background to you, and
Yep.
both of you have been in relationships that multiple relationships that haven't worked out, and let's be honest, we all get into relationships that haven't worked out, but
Yep.
would it not stand to reason to actually try something different and see if that works out, rather than, because you sound like you're selecting based on a similar relationship history.
Yep.
Would it not stand to, because what, I can't remember the phrase, Doug, what is it? Some like something about failure doomed to repeat itself or something. It seems to me that maybe you might be better looking at people that have slightly different relationship histories, and that might work out differently in the end. If everything you're doing is going after the same people that have the same kind of relationship histories, because you even said if they've got kind of less experience than me, that I find that concerning. If they've got more experience than me, I find that concerning. You're
Yep.
then severely limiting the pool of people, when there might be someone who has a completely different background to yourself, but who actually you just gel really well with.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, and I really appreciate what you're saying. Thanks for taking the time to explain it as well, right? I guess for me, it just comes down to what I'm comfortable with, and this could be comfortable with, and even insecurity within myself as well. Like everybody has things that they're insecure about, right? I don't particularly want to put myself in a position with a lady that I could get insecure, because I don't feel like I could probably match up to, I don't know, like the kind of the plethora of experience that that lady may have had. Like, and I feel like women can kind of have that same thing in reverse, where you don't know the kind of plethora of experience this man has had, right? And and it just kind of feels a bit weird. In my mind, that feels a bit weird. I'd rather somebody that I know we both do things similarly, we both kind of work similarly, we both kind of like, when things get tough, you don't need to seek companionship. You seek yourself out and improve yourself. That's all it
Okay,
is.
but well, I want to ask you a question. I'm sure that every relationship you've had has been different, right? There
Yeah.
have been different things that you've enjoyed doing together. You have, in each relationship, you establish your boundaries regarding personal space and regarding, alone time and all of those things. But those will be different in every relationship you have, because some
Of
people you might be
course.
more comfortable spending that time with that person. Other times you it's quite intense when you're together, so you want a bit more time by yourself. And in every relationship being different, it's I would just think that it's worth, just even entertaining the idea of maybe dating someone who has a different dating background to you.
Yo,
Hi, just wait for a second. We're having a conversation. You can join in just a moment.
I'll be
So
back. I'll be back at the
is it
computer in a
is it kind of
second.
like the crux of what you're saying, that kind of going for somebody that has a different relationship background, no matter if that's like a more like casual kind of background initially and then turns into something serious, somebody that had a serious kind of background that turned into something casual? Is that what you're kind of
Yeah, well,
saying?
I think there is such a thing as serial monogamists, right? Who are consistently having lots of long-term relationships that then don't end well. But there's
Mm,
also people who haven't had that opportunity to have that long-term relationship. And so what they've had is maybe a couple of casual relationships with people, but for some reason it's never worked out. It's not necessarily that person's fault, be they male or female, that has never worked out for them. It's just wrong person, wrong time, whatever.
yes, and I can understand that, right? Like things can happen in relationships, out of relationships, right? That take somebody on a completely different path from what they may have initially envisioned for themselves in terms of relationships, right? But I would still. This is just me. This is just me speaking, and I feel like it is not particularly wrong to be this way. In that, I would just want somebody that is just known for having these kind of long relationships, be it like anywhere between 6 months plus, like 6 months plus, just like you're with a person, you are committed to them, you're trying to get to know them, you're trying to build something with them. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. If it works, it works. Me and my current partner, we've both been in relationships before. We've come together now. We've seen in these other relationships that we've been in what worked for us, like for it's like how to communicate inside those relationships, and even the type of time that we need, the type of things that we like, etc. So it's easier to just get along even off the get-go as well. Like I don't really want to be with somebody that doesn't even know what they need in a relationship yet, because they're more casual. Nothing wrong with being casual, right? We live in a world. Nothing wrong with being casual, right? But I was still rather somebody that kind of knows what they want.
I've just invited him to unmute.
Yo, okay, I'm back. So my point is, okay, is that a problem? Oh, okay. So my point is, okay, imagine this. Say you met this lovely bird, like this lovely girl, okay, lovely on everything, like you know, like you want to get to know her. Wait, I think you cut out. 19. So okay, so
Hang on,
imagine you met like this.
can I just ask a question before you carry on? Did you
Go
just
on.
say the word bird to describe a woman and then correct yourself to girl?
No, it must have been the wind.
No, but you did. You
Okay,
described
well,
women
can I
as
say my point?
birds and then as girls, just so that we can make that clear.
Well, can I say my point? Can I have the talking pillow? Okay, okay. So picture this lovely girl, and then like you and I, like like in bed getting it on, then and then the topic comes up, and say that you've only done it a couple of times. You ask how many times she's like done it, or not even when you're getting on. Just it comes up, the conversation, and then she goes like, oh yeah, like I've done it like I don't know, like 20, 30 times. It's like I would honestly think that, like, no offense to her, even though she doesn't even exist, but no offense to her, I think that like that kind of means like a sense of unloyalty. If she's hmm? Yeah. I know, but say me and her are pretty young. I think unloyalty because she's like done it with like 20 to 30 guys.
But
And
she did. No, you said she's done it 20 or 30 times, which could have all been with the same guy, first off. And secondly, like Doug said, you can't be, and by the way, the word is disloyalty. You can't be disloyal to someone you don't know. Fair enough, if you're in a relationship with her and she's done this behind your back, that would be disloyalty. But how can she be disloyal to somebody she doesn't know?
okay,
Yeah.
wait,
You can't be
okay,
disloyal in the past. right? Like you can't be disloyal to somebody you've never met up until that point.
No. It's not okay. Like, can I correct what I said? And
Okay,
instead
sure,
of
sure.
saying like done it like so many times, like it was with different people, like 20 people. Like, okay, if she'd done it with that many people, then that makes me think like maybe like no offense, but like maybe she's not like into me. Like, I don't know, she's been into other guys. Maybe she'll just move on. Like if she's done
That's
it that
life.
many times.
Well, that's life.
Yeah. I know, but all I'm saying is I would rather, like, I don't know, I'd rather have a girl who's done it like not many times. And you know, like,
Well, let me ask you
yeah.
this. Let's flip this around. Let's say she has been with 30 guys, and then she was with you, and she likes you a lot, and she continues to see you. Wouldn't that be a great thing? Because out of all those 30 people, she decided to be with you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the situation between her and the 30 guys. For all I know, she could have, like she could have said that to all 30 of them.
Well, no, I'm talking about, huh? What's in this context? Are you guys dating, or is it just a hookup?
Dating.
Okay.
And
And
yeah,
okay, so you're telling me she was in 30 relationships before,
20 or
or
30,
30
yeah, something
hookups,
like
or
that.
30 hookups, or 30 people she's been with? Because those are different things.
Hookups.
Okay, so that doesn't mean that she was disloyal by any means, right? She had her fun. She's in a relationship with you now. Doesn't matter what she did in the past. As long as it matters is she's happy, you're happy, and you guys both share, the same things. I don't see why that would matter.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, it kind of, like, if they done it multiple times, then again they could have, like, how would I know? Like, I'm not gonna ask like, oh yeah, was it hookups? Like, I don't know. All that I said, like, all that she's said is like,
This is not right. I hate to break this to you, but this is not a conversation that adults have, particularly not when you're on the verge of, nobody's on the verge of doing it and says, by the way, how many times have you done this before? Can you give me a ballpark?
I said
That's not.
hypothetically.
No, but it's not a realistic hypothetical. You don't put some like James Brown on and then, and you're getting in the mood, and then, you've lit the candles and you're wearing your nice aftershave and you put the lights down low, and you're starting to get busy, and then suddenly and then if suddenly you said, by the way, how many times have you done this before? She's getting her stuff and going home, no matter whether
No,
she's
no,
never
no.
done it
I mean,
before,
that's
no
the whole
matter
point
whether
of a
she's never done
hypothetical.
it before,
But
or whether she's done it a million times before.
But
She's getting her
hypotheticals.
coat.
Sorry. Good.
No, I was just saying she's getting her coat if that's the kind of chat you've got.
I said hypothetically.
But hypotheticals are scenarios that you're not currently in, but you have the possibility of being in, or is some sort of realistic scenario given the circumstances. And I just don't think that would be any realistic scenario, though.
Yeah, but again, I mean, yeah, but that's like your best mate asking you hypothetically, like, if there was a zombie apocalypse or like something mad like that. That's the whole point of a zombie, like that's the whole point of a hypothetical.
I mean, listen, I would never be. I've never been in a situation where I ask them, they ask me. So it's not really a thing,
Well, yeah, but you've also never been in a zombie apocalypse.
And we're not going to be, because they're fictional.
Yeah, but it's
That's the
still a
problem here.
hypothetical question.
This is such. I mean, I know you're only 19, but this is such a childish conversation to be having. Yeah, but I know. But sometimes I have this conversation with my mate about, well, what if we were both in a zombie apocalypse, and what would you do? Like, where would you go? Where would be the place where they'd have the pew pews? Like, it's such a childish conversation, and it's screaming insecurity from you. And I get that, okay? There's nothing wrong with being insecure about like how and I think it's natural for people to be insecure about how
Oh, for sure.
they measure up to other people. and how, you know, most people will tell you, like, the first time the person that they like sees them with no clothes on, and actually this is worse when it's somebody you like than when it is somebody you don't really care about. But when somebody you like sees you with no clothes on for the first time, like in the cold light of day, and you're like, well, what if they go, oh my God, this person's got a lump here? What are you doing? Are you setting off fireworks?
Me? I'm not making any noise. I'm just sitting here.
No, the guy at the top is tapping.
Oh yeah, Life, stop.
Me?
Are you rubbing something?
I think he's typing. But every single person has a level of insecurity when it comes to people that they like. Everybody does. And that level of insecurity goes up directly based upon how much you like that person and how much it means to you that that person likes you back. Because if you don't care whether that person likes you or not, you don't care if they see a flaw in what you look like. You don't care if they see a flaw in your personality. That stuff only matters when you like the person.
Yeah, but I mean, again, I'm not saying any of this happened, which to me it didn't. It just didn't. That's again the
But
whole
then
point of a
Then
hypothetical.
what's your point then, right? What's your overall point?
I'm just saying, like, it would be a major red flag if a girl's like been with many guys, and I don't think that would be loyal, you know.
I think a sign of someone being disloyal is them being disloyal, right? Like if they've cheated on every partner, then that would be a sign. Them sleeping with somebody is not a sign of that. It's a sign of them just sleeping with people.
Can I interject really quickly?
Go for it.
So, do you think because a woman has been with several partners in the past, she'll be disloyal to you in future based on the past behavior, or is it something else?
No, I mean, yeah, based on past behavior.
Well, hang on. Can I just, because somebody just to the other two British people on the panel, can I just ask you a question quickly? Because somebody in the comments thinks that I'm faking my accent. Can you just tell them that I'm not faking my accent and that I am actually British, please?
No, I hear your accent every day at work. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I can guarantee you I'm not faking my accent. This is how I speak.
That'd be a damn good fake, though.
We've kept it up, Doug, for like, I don't know, how long have you and I known each other
A
at
couple
this
years,
point?
like 2 years or so now.
I mean, I could speak with my real voice if you like.
I like your American accent. You can do that if you want.
No, this is my American accent. My British accent's like this. That's how British people speak. Bottle of water.
All right, guys. I see a couple people in the request box. We can swap out guests here in a bit. Say at like 60,000 likes, we can swap out guests. But we obviously need a couple people to swap out. So far, we have 2 in the request box. So if you guys stay there, we'll swap out. But anyways, I forget who was speaking. So whoever it was, you can continue.
Oh, he went.
Okay, well, I suppose we can bring up somebody else. Who do we got? Only opposition, by the way. So if you're in a request box and you agree with Corey, myself, and Erica, I'm going to ask that you please drop from the request box. Okay? And if I accept and bring you on up and you say, hey, I just want to say a quick thing, I'm going to drop you. Okay? Please don't take offense to such.
Yeah, I don't want to clog up you guys' like requests, right? So then, I'll just kind of leave with this, isn't it? Like,
hold on, Loki. Hold on 1 second. I just want to make sure. Alex, hello. How you doing?
Oh, can you hear me? Hi.
Yeah, I just need to know your age, sir. How old are you?
22.
What was that? 18?
22.
22. I'm sorry. Okay, sorry. Sorry. Do you believe body count matters?
Yeah, but like not so much to me personally. I view it as like purely a numbers game.
Okay,
Like,
we'll get to you in 1 second. Hold on, Loki. Hold on.
endowed you are matters.
Hold on. Okay. Right. Alex, just finish up what you're about, or Loki, finish up what you're about to say, and then we'll get to Alex.
Cool, no problem. Thanks. So, what do you call it? End of the day, you come to a relationship to feel secure in yourself and to feel secure in the person that you're coming to that relationship with, right?
Sure.
If you don't feel like you're going to be secure, you shouldn't be entering into that relationship. And if one of your prerequisites is that, in my case, you and this person have had a similar past as per se, then I see nothing wrong with that. If you're coming to a relationship to feel secure and feel secure in the person that you're with.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I would agree with that. So, all right, let me go ahead and bring you down. I appreciate the conversation. Okay.
Yeah, I appreciate you as well. Keep
Yeah.
safe.
Have a good one. Have a good one. All right, guys. Again, we're looking for opposition. Make sure you send in your heart me if you haven't already done so. There at the top left. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. All right, Alex. Based on what you said, you don't really sound like opposition, but you can continue with what you were saying.
I'm opposition, really. Like, I don't know. I just, it's interesting, because I guess it doesn't ultimately change anything because women don't have to show their true feelings. But I know it is often the case with women where they experience someone who is so rare, 1 in 2,000, 1 in 5,000, 1 in 10,000, someone who's particularly well endowed, and then they just have a very difficult time, like, respecting the men who they are more paired with. Like, do you get what I'm saying? You can see it.
I don't quite know you. So
I don't
You don't
get what
follow?
you're saying.
Can anybody follow with? I don't know.
Like, it's very, if you have thoroughly appreciated 8 inches, it's very difficult to appreciate 4. It is.
Well, it's not. That's not true because vaginas
Maybe
are
it's just me.
actually like elastic.
No, I don't mean like that.
So
I'm not saying it gets loose. I'm not saying that. It's a mental thing.
I think
really.
what you're insinuating is that, like,
It's like trying heroin and then trying to go
think,
back to opiates.
well, heroin is
Or sorry, I
opiate,
mean
but
kratom. I mean kratom. Sorry.
little different in the sense that it's not linear with size and pleasure, right?
No, it's
Like
not linear, and it depends on each woman.
Women, totally correct me if I'm wrong. This is totally a guess. I would imagine, right? This is their chart right here. An inch gives you more pleasure, 2 inches more pleasure, 3, and at some point it plateaus.
To a certain point.
And at some point it plateaus, maybe like 6, 7, 8, and then it goes back down because it starts to hurt too much, right? So
No,
it's
but
it's probably like a inverse U curve, right, or whatever.
but it's not
Correct me
even.
if I'm
But
wrong.
it's
Correct me if I'm wrong.
it's
Yeah,
not
it is a
even.
bit of a U-shaped curve, but there's
No, but it's not even. I
6,
don't
7.
think. Right, guys. I don't think you understand. I don't think
Oh,
you
I understand.
understand. No, you don't understand female. No, you don't understand
Okay,
female
what don't I
sexuality.
understand?
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and bring that. Yeah, no, I get it.
I know.
How you use it, it's important. Yeah. Is that what you're trying to get to?
No, but it also matters. Like if that person is like everything you want, and there's other things about you other things about them that turn you on, that can be even more pleasurable than them having a big, you know.
There's a lot that goes into pleasuring. That is obviously a factor, a big factor or a small factor, depending on the size. But yeah, it's a factor. But for sure, there's of course plenty of other things that play into it, right? I want you care about the person. In my experience, seems to make it more pleasurable, a lot more. Yeah, there's a whole lot to it. I think. I don't know.
Well, it's the same as these guys who are like gym bros and say, well, women don't like dad bods. Women absolutely like dad bods, as much, if not more than, like a muscular physique, especially if it's paired with a guy who's just genuinely a great guy and is funny and is witty and is intelligent. And certainly for me, and I think most women in the comments would agree, all of that stuff is as much of a turn on as the size of what they have down their pants.
Sure. Okay. All right, we are. Does abs don't hurt though? Yeah. All right, let's get to the next guest. Oh, damn it. King wants to come up. Fuck. Loading, loading, loading. Loading,
It
loading,
goes,
loading.
it goes Intel's loading.
No, he's not British, actually. Believe it or not, we'd break the record of like 3 in a row or something. That was wild. I'm convinced Erica did something. She has some sort of a remote control that that brings them up.
The last thing I want to speak to after a day of speaking to British people is more British people, Doug.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're looking for opposition. If you think body count matters, hit the request button, please. I do need to work out today. I'm going to work out today at some point. I guess whenever I end the live. So you guys get to determine when I work out, I suppose. Anyways, I don't know what to talk about anymore. I think we kind of hit a. I don't know.
Did we hit a plateau of pleasure, Doug?
I don't know what to say. Normally I'm pretty good at like changing the topic quickly, but you kind of got me lost for words here. Make sure you guys all send in. We climaxed hard. We're edging, actually. Make sure you send in the heart me, please, if you have not done so. I appreciate the taps. Make sure you guys follow me if you don't already. Give Erica a follow. If you guys think I'm clicking a pen, I'm not clicking a pen. I'm playing with my infinity cube. I know it's a little loud. I try to make it low. I can't help myself. Thank you, Tina. Thank you so much. And to the one person watching me on YouTube, normally I have a bigger viewer count on YouTube. Right now I have 1 watching me, guys. So you know what you guys can do, and I guess girth matters apparently, says somebody in YouTube. Sure, that is important. Thickness does matter.
Girth is far more important than length, but ultimately there has to be some of each.
Well, it adds more to the volume. So let's say you have like a 6-inch in length, but a 3-inch in girth. Adding an inch to that girth adds a lot more volume to it than adding that inch in length. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So if you measure volume, yeah, it makes it a lot bigger. So
yeah, but if there were only girth and very little length, you wouldn't be able to get it.
Well, you wouldn't be able to get it in. Yeah, that's fair.
So,
Interesting.
Whereas you can get in length with little girth, but you might not feel it.
Right, because it's not pushing against the walls. It's not creating that pressure. Too much. Kayla,
I'll be back in a minute.
Kayla, thank you for the $1 on Venmo. It says, if you keep edging the cube, you're going to make it climax. Thank you, Kayla. I appreciate it. Oh, boy. What did we create here? We are still looking for opposition if you think body count matters. It's like throwing a hot dog down the hallway. Sure. Hey, fingers can be good, though. You can manipulate fingers, right? You can't do that with your thing down there. So it has the benefit if you're small. You can... Again, anybody who is opposition, please hit the request button. Mouse can work too. A combination thereof would probably be best, I would imagine. My understanding of the stats is finger skills better than member size. Yeah, I think somebody can absolutely make up for their size being small by being good with their digits. Somebody on YouTube wants me to cope. What am I coping with? What am I coping about? I don't know. Who knows? My wife says she's going to cut my tongue out. Oh, well, I said you won't. That's your favorite thing about me.
Controversially, I'd go for finger size over PP size every day of the week. I like
Wait,
a
what was
man with
that?
big hands. I said
You like a
I'd
man
go
with
for
what?
finger size over PP size every day of the week.
Well, nobody's finger is going to be as lengthy and girthy as that down there. I mean, unless you're really small down there and your fingers happen to be really big. But there's no way, like, because that, like, yeah, this is too, like, the girth of this, like, my thumb's wrapped around. That wouldn't happen otherwise. Are you saying fingers are bigger?
No.
That's what you said.
No, I didn't. I said I would go for finger size over PP size. Like, I would go for a man with a big hands over a man with a big PP every day of the week.
Oh, like those big construction hands, right?
Like shovels.
Like shovels.
Hey, listen, the ladies know what I'm talking about. See, I'm getting snaps and everything.
Oh gosh. A big Cuban cigars for fingers. Alright, well, we still have a good workout here, so.
You just read the comment like big Cuban cigars for fingers.
I didn't know what to make of that.
I know exactly what to make of that.
See how he eats pudding without a spoon. I guess that would be a good indicator, huh?
Well, if it were Doug, he'd eat it with a fork.
Fuck off. I will not work out at 5 in the morning. That will never happen. That will never, ever.
I thought you were telling me to fuck off about eating pudding with a fork.
No, I was.
Oh, okay. But you would absolutely do that if there were no spoons available.
Well, yeah, that'd be the next best option. Oh, 5 p.m. Okay. All right, fair enough. All right. Yeah, well, I will be working out soon, so I guess it would be close to 5 p.m. or so. I don't know. I don't know where we're at, guys. I don't know what's going on anymore. It kind of just caused me to lose track of everything. Well, Andrea, some people are like that. There are those 4 or 5 a.m. workout a-hole people that just wake up at 4:30, just boop, and work out.
I went to the gym really early once. It wasn't for me. It was very, very serious people at the gym early doors.
What's up?
The people at the gym very early were very serious.
No, I mean, that is true. That is true. I mean, obviously, anybody you see there at an early time, those are going to be like the regulars and things like that. And all more power to you. I have more energy as the day goes on. I wake up with the least amount of energy, with the least amount of like willingness to do anything. And as the day goes on, I get more and more and more, which is like, I really wish it was the opposite, to be honest, but I can't control it. It is what it is.
I think I hit my energy peak just before I go to sleep, to be honest.
Do you, in terms of energy?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
don't
see,
have any energy
it's
ever right now.
well, you're more of a night owl, though.
Yeah, I am a night owl. I've been trying to take, I'm taking iron supplements because I think I'm probably a bit anemic right now. Because I keep getting restless legs and I've got no energy at all. So I think I'm a bit anemic.
Have you gotten your
No, because I would
you
have
know,
to
you got
go to
checked?
go to the doctors, and I can't go to the doctors until the summer holidays because they
Yeah,
won't let me have the time for the appointment. So
that would help. I had low iron one time, because I donated blood. Like I did a double donation of blood, and I guess I just lost too much iron or whatever. And I didn't even know it, but like I kept like chewing a lot of ice for like weeks afterwards, for like, 'cause at the workplace I had, there was an ice machine, and it felt so nice to chew ice. It was really weird. And then apparently that's a common side effect, which sounds really weird, but it's true. And then I did get blood work, and I did have low iron levels.
What is the side effect of chewing ice?
I swear to God, I know it sounds weird of low iron. I'll look it up. I'll show you this. I know it sounds weird.
I'm taking magnesium as well, Vintage. I've literally got them next to me right now. I've got 3-in-1
It's a symptom
magnesium
or a
tablet.
coping mechanism, not a side effect. I'm sorry, but a classic
Okay.
symptom or coping mechanism. Yeah. So it's known as
Pica.
I do not know how to pronounce this. Pagophagia. Pagophagia? Pagophagia?
Phagia.
Okay. The intense craving to chew ice is believed to be the body's way of increasing blood flow and oxygen to the brain, providing a temporary mental boost to anemic individuals. There you go.
I haven't had that, but I have got the restless legs started like last week. So I got, sorry, I'm just opening a drink.
Restless
So
legs, I hate that.
I've never had it, but I never had restless legs before. And
Yeah.
I got hardly any sleep. So I bought magnesium spray
That helps.
to spray on my legs. Yeah.
Magnesium helps a lot, yeah. Hopefully, I've never heard of the spray, but if that doesn't help, make sure you just get like the regular magnesium, just glycinate or whatever.
I'm just about to pop I've got magnesium glycinate 3-in-1.
Okay. Yeah, make sure, though, this isn't you, but if you guys get magnesium, don't get magnesium oxide. It has like a 2% bioavailability, and that's why it's so damn cheap. You want to get like the glycinate or citrate, one of those. Although the citrate causes you to poop a little bit. That's what you want. Yeah, no, our restless leg syndrome sucks. I admittedly have gone through opiate withdrawals too many times. Restless leg syndrome is one of the classic symptoms, and it fucking sucks.
Oh, this is magnesium glycinate, malate, and citrate all in one tablet.
Oh, nice. Okay. Good. I'm sure that'll help.
So I'm taking, it's 1,800 milligrams magnesium compound.
How much citrate? Yeah, T7. It can work as a laxative, but that's if you take a lot of it. So it depends on how much, I suppose. How much citrate is in there?
It's got 1,000 milligrams of glycinate, 400 milligrams of malate, and 400 milligrams of citrate, providing elemental magnesium of 384 milligrams, which is 102% of your daily.
Okay. But it's a spray? It's a spray?
No, this is a tablet, but I also have a spray.
I would take one because you don't know if it's going to make you poop. Just to be careful.
Everything makes me poop, Doug.
Okay. Just let you know, if you take it, it may make you really runny down there. Just FYI.
Again.
Okay. It's your body. I'm just saying. Oh boy. So we've talked about length and girth and poop. T7, yeah, that'll do it too. That'll do it for sure. What else can we talk about that has nothing to do with the fucking background? David, we don't talk about that. That's a once a year story at this point.
Well,
I will share it in a year from now.
Internet Protocol said it's rather ironic. I've not cried since I was 12 to 13, while you ladies probably cried post-ovulation. Not crying is not a flex. Not crying is not a flex. Dealing with your emotions crying is a healthy way to deal with emotions. Bottling them all up and pretending you don't have them is not a healthy way of dealing with your emotions. Let's just make that very clear.
It wasn't meant to be a flex. They accused me of crying.
I think
who was crying? Who was supposed to be crying here?
Internet Protocol, apparently.
Internet Protocol, okay.
But I want to say, when somebody on TikTok accuses somebody else of crying, it doesn't literally mean crying.
Yeah, it's a pseudonym, no, not pseudonym. I don't know, like a synonym for just complaining, I guess. Right.
Oh look, my friend Nigel's in here. He's British. He'll come up and add to the British count for today.
No, I
The
think we
BC,
covered our quota for the year, actually.
the BC, the British count. You should. That's what you should have. Why does British count matter?
All right. Anybody that's just entering live, I hope you're having a really good Monday afternoon so far. I started this Monday morning, so here I am. Make sure you send in the heart me there at the top left. I will have to end this at some point soon because I don't want to work out during rush hour at the gym. I hate working out at peak time at the gym. Every single thing that I need to use, somebody happens to be on. It really annoys me. So I think peak hours start in about an hour and a half. So, but I'm okay doing this for now.
I love that someone's having an argument with himself in the comments, and
Well, that's
it's
fun.
wild. Hang on, Nigel. What do you mean the Americans have cancelled you?
Kayla, thank you so much for the $1 on Venmo. It says, if you keep edging the cube, you're going to make it climax, Doug. I don't know how to make it finish. All I know is how to edge it. That's all I know how to do. Kayla, thank you so much for the $1. I appreciate you. When people stand there and wait for the machine you're using. Yeah, I won't do that. No, wait. Oh, shit, you're right. I did read that. Yeah, that's right. I remembered reading something similar to it. Well, I thought it was a different one because I just got a notification for it. That's really weird. Yeah, no, I won't stand there waiting for somebody. I'll sit at like a nearby machine or something. However, though, there are some people who are on the machine for like way too fucking long. They'll like this kid was on this bicep curl machine like it was a week ago, and he probably wasn't. He was probably like 16 or something. He must have done like 10 sets of bicep curls on his phone for like 3 minutes in between. I was able to do like 4 exercises before he finished, and it really, really annoyed me. Because he thinks doing 10 sets on a goddamn bicep curl machine is going to make him have the biceps he wants. That was annoying.
I take it that he wasn't going to failure. He was just
No,
keeping.
he wasn't. He wasn't. He was just doing several reps, stop, went on his phone for a few minutes, several reps, stop. And, yeah, it was a little annoying.
Did you say that's not the way to do it, buddy?
No, I never impose upon people. I let people be. Nobody wants to be told what to do in the gym. I mean, there might be a very specific time where I would do it if somebody's doing something that may like hurt themselves immediately. But beyond that, I kind of just let people do what they do. 'Cause when I'm working out, I'm doing my own thing. But if you're talking about as far as being a trainer, I don't. There are other gyms where the trainers their job is to like what's called like a floor pull, where like you see somebody working out, you help them out, and then you try to like get them to be your client. Where I work, they don't do that. I just get my clients from the people who do the sales. I don't like sales. It's not my thing. Um, so yeah. Anyways, I like when you tell me what to do at the gym. Well, you do it well when I tell you to do it. All right. I used to work at a gym. One guy was on a stair climber, sweat so much the machine was dripping. That's disgusting. If body count doesn't matter, why do people lie about it? Because of people like you. That's why. Because of people like you and your reaction and how you treat them.
Well, it's because if you ask, they know that you're then going to judge them on whatever they say. It's quite simple.
And I'm saying it shouldn't matter. I understand in society it does matter in large parts of society. I'm saying it ought to not matter. Oh, my mom just texted me.
Hi, Doug's mom.
Who the fuck is Joe? Oh, Joe! She was texting me about somebody named Joe. I'm like, who the fuck is Joe? It's just like such a generic name. I didn't know what the fuck she was talking about.
My mum does this thing to me all the time where she'll say like, "Oh, I saw Mary the other day," and I'll be like, "Right," and she'll start telling me about Mary and I have no fucking clue who she's talking about. She's just telling me about this person she thinks I'm aware of called Mary, and what Mary's been doing and what Mary's children are. I always assume that I went to school with whoever she's talking about kids, but I never know who she's talking about. She's just telling me about somebody that she saw the other day.
How's your mom? How old is your mom again?
Hang on a minute. She'll be 82 in September.
Oh, okay. She's getting up there.
Yeah. She's thinking about moving into. Did I tell you? I'm sure some people in here have heard me talk about this. She's thinking about moving into a retirement village.
Yes, you did tell me that. How's
Yeah.
that going along? What's
Yeah, she's gonna go visit with my brother again in a couple of weeks, but she's got.
It'd be good for her though, from what you said, right?
Yeah, I think it'd be brilliant for her, but my parents they moved into the house that they live in, well, that my mum still lives in 1987,
Oh, that's
and
hard to leave. Yeah.
they've never been great at getting rid of stuff, so they just have so much stuff.
I'm the same way. Yeah.
Um,
Sentimental stuff.
Yeah, well, not even sentimental stuff. Like, if anybody knows anyone who wants to buy a load of brand new Bobcat parts in the UK, please let me know, because they have a garage full of like new Bobcat parts that he had. That's what my dad did. He did construction machinery. They have a garage full of parts for construction machinery, for construction machines, and we've got no clue who we can sell these parts to. Like, not a clue. And I'm not giving them to somebody. They're probably worth thousands, but yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. I'm sure at some point she'll be willing to move out of it, but yeah, it's hard to leave stuff like that. I get it.
Well, when I get off work for the summer, we're gonna rent a skip and have it on our driveway and just be in a ton of stuff.
It'll be really fun. No, that sounds like it would be a good time. When I texted my mom saying it took me a minute to figure out who the fuck Joe was, she sent me a GIF of Judge Judy just doing this.
Who is
You know,
Joe?
Judge Judy. Well, you know who Judge Judy is, right?
I know
Or
who
no?
Judge Judy is, but who's Joe?
Joe was a friend of my brother. I guess she was just
Okay.
talking on the phone with him. Yeah, he was a really good friend of his, and I should have known who he was right away because I do know who he is pretty well. I was just not thinking, I guess. They went to college together. Actually, sort of good story, Joe. When my brother came out initially, right as he graduated high school before college, and his roommate Joe was pretty religious, and he was pretty against it at first, and eventually he became really accepting about it, and they became best friends, and yeah, they were like best friends ever since college, ever since my brother passed. So for like, God, how many years? Almost like, I don't know, 15 years, something like that. So good guy though.
That's nice.
Yeah. It just goes to show that when you live with somebody and you're around somebody who you may fundamentally disagree with, whatever, you realize that, like, hey, they may not meet who I think these types of people are, you know?
Oh no, there's people here who would come round and for a cost, get rid of all the stuff in my mum's house if that's what she wanted to do. But I think she's worried. She's not a hoarder or anything, but she would be worried that they would throw away something that was important. It took her. So my dad's office was an absolute state. It's taken her. What month are we in? June. It
June.
took her from November when he died until May to find the deeds for the house.
Oh gosh, really?
Like that's. She was finding checkbooks from the 1970s.
Gosh.
So,
Hey, once again, if anybody believes body count matters, hit the request button at the bottom of the screen. There's one above Erica, I believe, although I don't see it on my ends, but there's definitely one at the bottom of the screen.
there,
It looks
I
like
can see one above me.
Yeah, when you host a live, you can't see it, but yeah. We got a guest. Hello, how you doing?
Yo.
Yeah, I know.
Child.
Jeez. Is that his attempt at sounding older? Yo. I'm 25.
Yo, I'm a grown up.
Somebody one time said, I asked them their age, they're like, I'm 18 plus. It's funny.
How much plus? How plus are we talking? Are we talking 18 plus 30 or are we talking 18 plus 6 months?
Does it really matter? Nobody believes me. Well, if you happen to have a really just higher pitched voice and you're 18, then yeah, people may not believe you necessarily, but sorry. Hello, Olive. How you doing? Hi, Dee. Hello. That's what I was thinking. 18 plus negative 1. That's what I was thinking.
I mean,
well, guys, might be time to wrap it up here.
I'm 18. I'm 18 plus plus plus.
Let's bring Olive up. Oop, sorry.
Douglas.
I'm gonna wrap it up as soon as I say hello. Fuck you, Doug.
Well, it was only because of you, actually. So yeah.
I knew it. See, guys, it's been proven.
How you doing? What's been new?
Nothing. It's hell. It's hell everywhere I go. But you know what? I'm still pushing through somehow.
Anything new going on with you guys, you and Manny?
I mean, Manny got a promotion. We're just kind of surviving life with the inflation going up. I got my master's degree, so
Yeah? There you go.
Yes. So I'm trying to figure out a way to work with a special needs group that outreaches to parents and kids and help create a curriculum. So I'm just trying to figure things out, but a lot of places don't really want to work. And then living in Tennessee with how much they don't like education, I'm just kind of stuck in between a rock and a hard place. So we're just trying to make things work and, survive this life. And then TikTok's been TikToking, but Tube's been well. I've been doing really well over there on the Tube. Yeah,
That's good. That's good.
I recently broke 1K and I'm on the road to 2. So
that's great. Yeah, my YouTube started off fast-ish, went slow. I don't know. It goes through its ups and downs. I get it though. Are you consistently getting a good amount of viewers on there though? Like what do you typically get? Like concurrent viewers?
Usually, like at the height of it, like I can hold up to 1 to 200 on Tube.
Yeah,
and then
that's
towards
good.
the end,
That's good on
obviously
the
they
Tube.
trickle down.
They do, yeah. Funny enough, YouTube seems to like it when I do my seed oil lives, which they don't like it
That's because
here.
of the incels.
Well, I think that's it. When I do those, I get, like, when I look at total views, I sometimes, and this may not be a lot for you, I don't know what the most total views you've gotten, but I've gotten like 13 or 14,000 total views for some of my seed oil lives, which I was pretty happy about. For me, that's good, at least for YouTube. Ooh, you're on mute, and you're off screen. And your mom's calling.
Her mum's calling. Doug,
Well,
can
I'm more
I show
important
you?
though. I'm more
Can
important
I?
though.
Can I show you something? Do you remember I was talking about that TV show called Tiptoe?
Yes.
Can I show you one conversation from that show that I think will really ring true for like with the kind
Yeah.
of stuff that we. Is that all right?
Yeah, go for it.
Hang on a minute. I have to. Right. Do you want to put me on the big screen or keep me on the little one?
Yeah. Yeah, no, Phoebe, I think you're probably right. I don't. It just YouTube has a different crowd of people, I think. So, all right, let's
You
see it.
ready?
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever think it's coming back? Well, that from the 90s. We were despised, but you read the stuff online now, it sounds just the same.
Do I think it's coming back?
Yeah.
It's back, you idiot. Right now, it's here. It's a storm, it's a tide, it's a great big tsunami, and we're in the middle of it right now. Do I think it's coming back? You know, if you'd asked me in 1996, what do you think 2026 will be like? I'd have said glory days. We'll have equality, we'll have love and kisses, we'll be holding hands, skipping down the streets. But they tricked us, didn't they? They just waited. Oh, they let us all come out. So now we're standing in the open, ready for them to shoot us down.
You think that? Really?
And look at me, I was out and as proud as anything, but past couple of years, I'm a lot more careful.
You just started a great big row.
On Canal Street, home turf, but out there, I used to walk into a room and just go, ta-da! Now I tiptoe, just in case.
Gabby, it's called Tiptoe, as per what they
Do
just
you ever think it's coming back?
Ooh. TikTok doesn't like it that we're doing this.
Sorry.
No, you're okay. It did that at the very end anyway, so let me minimize you. We're all good.
I just
You
think
know how
that
TikTok is.
conversation is so interesting when he says, I used to go into a place and say, ta-da, and now I tiptoe just in case. It's so true.
You said it's on
Channel 4.
God, wait, what?
Channel 4. It's not available in the US, I don't think. But
What show? There was a show you were talking to me about that you were watching or whatever on some streaming service. God, what was it?
I think It's a Sin is on the Flicks, which is by the same guy. It's a Russell T Davies show. But yeah, it's amazing. It's so harrowing though. I still can't watch the end of it. Not It's a Sin, Tiptoe. I haven't watched the end of it yet. Because I know what's going to happen. It's one of those shows that opens with what the ending's going to be. But now I like the characters, so I don't want to see the ending.
Yeah, that's always what happens. Just ate the best tortilla chips. I did that yesterday. I had a bunch of leftover tortilla chips from Chili's. A whole bag full, and I ate like most of it in bed. All right. Well, I think it's time to wrap it up, guys, because if I get to the gym now, I'll be able to avoid the peak hours by the end of the workout or so. But it was very good live, and I may even be live later, by the way. Don't quote me. I know when I say that, it's like there's like a 10% chance I do, so don't quote me, but I might. Make sure you guys join Discord, though, because when I do go live, I do announce it on Discord and my bulletin board. To join the bulletin board, click my profile picture in the top left. However, when I do my seed oil lives, or sometimes I'll do a live when I'm working out, I don't generally announce it because people don't really give a shit about those lives. So there is a small chance that I'll do like a live like that, but not announce. But anyways, whatever. Erica, you wanted to say anything before I hop off?
No, I'm all good.
Okay, good live. It's good seeing you up here. We had a bunch of
Good seeing you too.
all the Brits up here. It was good.
I know.
I think we had more Brits than we did Americans. I think.
For sure. It was a British invasion. The redcoats are coming.
Alrighty, guys. Well, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Hopefully, you got some good entertainment for a while. But if I don't see you guys later, I'll see you guys tomorrow or something like that. But take care, everybody. Follow me. Follow Eric if you enjoyed the live, and have a good one.